It's the Bennington Show. I'm Ron Bennington. There's Gail Bennington.
Yo.
I'm Ron Bennington. Coming up in just less than 3 hours, we're going to be playing Tiny Dancer and saying goodbye to all you people. So look forward to that. Another beautiful summer day. This is one of the nicest Junes we've ever had in New York City.
It's actually October.
Walked in today, 77 degrees. Beautiful. And blue skies. And the ice skating rink at Rockefeller Center, the world famous ice skating rink.
That's very uncomfortable. That's very weird. And they're also putting up the Christmas lights. They're starting to get that ready. That doesn't feel right when you're sweating.
Yeah.
It's very weird.
Well, these are the end times. Get used to them. North Korea has fired nukes at us. No, it's all right there, though, no matter what we're going to do. Chris Stanley had a big sighting today. Steve Bannon was back at work here at the old Sirius XM.
Saw him in the elevator bank, looking great.
Up here or downstairs?
Upstairs. Up here, yeah.
Wow.
Did you just say to him that, flash whatever meme said, whatever that meme frog is?
Pepe the Frog?
Pepe.
Yeah, he says Pepe.
Yeah.
But I always thought it was Pepe.
Yeah, it is. That's the way Pepe is pronounced, not Pepe.
And isn't that what you call Peyton Manning?
Yeah,
I'm really confused.
Yeah, I call him Pepe as well.
He also calls PayPal that. He goes, could you just send me some money on PayPay? It's unbelievable. But how'd he look?
He looked great. Yeah, the hair was looking great. He was looking happy. He was looking fit.
I heard he dropped 12 pounds. I watched him on Hannity last night.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, he said he dropped 12, and he was. You don't normally see like a far right wing guy talking about stuff like that. But it was an amazing appearance on Hannity. He and Hannity are taking on any Republican except for Ted Cruz. They will run somebody against them in the primaries, Senate, everywhere.
Really?
Yeah, it was a great appearance.
Well, it's very exciting that he was in the building.
You, by the way, caused me quite the stir here. Every person I passed commented on my green juice.
Oh, no.
Finally, I came up with the line. I go, it's like drinking a salad. And everybody really, really enjoyed that.
I like that V was like, as I passed, I heard her down the hallway. I could hear her all the way down the hall going, looks like someone got dad into green juice.
I couldn't believe it.
Why would she yell that down the hallway?
Paul was on it. Paul actually said to me, and you're the one who works closely with Paul, right? Our new, is he a PD of this Raw Dog?
Yes.
And he said to me, well, I'll be getting an email on this, but he wants to be known as Pauler the Baller from this point on.
We have to call him that?
I go, these things have to happen organically. And he goes, what, like your green juice? I go, okay, Pauler. You're the baller. We're going to be making an announcement in just seconds on, well, here's the thing. And I haven't seen this yet, but I heard it's just amazing. A Gilbert Gottfried story opens in select theaters November 3rd. And for me, Gilbert is one of those guys, I met his wife before, but you just don't think of Gilbert Gottfried having a real personal life. You just hear about him going from gig to gig to gig. But this movie is supposed to be tremendous. And a lot of it is about his relationship with his sister. They're very close. And she had cancer. And it's a sad story, but also a hilarious story. Well, Gilbert and the director, Neil Berkeley, are going to do an Unmasked with us. And it sounds like it's going to be just amazing. Now, we're going to do this at the Village Underground in New York City, the world famous Village Underground. That's November 1st, 6 p.m. at the Village Underground. Go to the iBang for free tickets. But this is one that, you definitely want to come in for. It's going to be amazing.
I love Gilbert so much, so I'm really excited to see this.
I'm so happy to have the director with him so I can get a straight answer about this.
I remember when I was in high school, it was not too long after I moved to New York, so seeing people, recognizable people and celebrities on the street was still very exciting. And I was with a group of other kids who I went to school with, and we were all standing on the corner, and we realized that we turned and we're waiting for the light with Gilbert Gottfried, and all at the same moment we went, hey, like that.
Yeah.
And he just went, hi, hello. But he didn't want his voice to be too loud so people could hear him. So he's like, hi, hello, okay.
Joan Rivers did that with me once on the East Side. Thank you, honey.
So their voice is so recognizable.
This is long before I met her. I caught her in a stumble because there was chords run, and I put my hand out, and she just goes like, turns around, and goes like, thank you, honey. And it was like, oh my God, it was amazing. But like you said, you used to get pumped about that. I'd rather see a famous person walking by on the street than have them here in the studio.
I know. Isn't that funny how it changes things? Like so many people come in and out of here, and then you go, oh, okay. Yeah, that's it. But then if you see them on the street, we would call each other up like, oh my God.
20 questions. Guess who I saw on the street today? The other day I saw the weatherman. I can't think of his last name. It's Steve something. And he's done just about every weather. No, it isn't Steve. It's Dave Price.
Dave Price.
Now look up a picture of Dave Price while you're already typing out your biography.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Of course. Yes.
And he was dressed, and I'm going to just say it, like an idiot.
Was it like summer wear? Is that
it's
why?
like summer wear for a child. There was a weird puffy vest going on.
What?
Yeah, while he had shorts. I don't know what those puffy vests are called, but they've been around now for 25 years. They should have a regular name. And I thought I'd know him from my coffee shop. I'm like, that dude from my coffee shop, and he just goes like this. Hi. He sees me staring. It's me, Dave Price.
Guess you wouldn't recognize me in the vest.
I've been exhausted. This is my 4th hurricane I've talked about. I could shit myself right now. And he goes like this. What's with the green juice?
Bro's giving you a hard time.
The green juice was like a Larry David moment for me, Yes. Everyone's noticing the green juice.
What? Can a man walk down the street with some green juice?
You said green juice. So go get tickets. This is totally free. The brilliance of this director for just following Gilbert around. And it's very funny. The other night, people were telling me Gilbert stories about how he'll always take food home from any, kind of backstage thing that there is. Mm-hmm. He loads up. And apparently his house is stuffed with like hotel soaps and shampoos and conditioners. Yes. It's borderline.
That's very strange.
Hoarding, from what I was told.
He loves the single servers.
I'm going to just try to make sure we have all kinds of awkward stuff that he can leave with.
Right.
I'll set up a green room, and there's just like
little hand sanitizer.
Yeah, just all tiny things that he could just pack and run with. I'm going to try to get Dave Price at this, too, just for the excitement level.
Hopefully he doesn't wear that vest.
So that's Unmasked with Gilbert Gottfried and Neil Berkeley. That's Wednesday, November 1st, 6 p.m. at the Village Underground in New York City. This is a cool one. This is going to be a fun hang.
This is going to be great. And it's at the Village Underground, and we always have a good time doing Unmasked.
Love that
there.
place.
It's the best.
Love that place. You're going to have to go for a little bit larger of a stage. Chris set me up with a stage last time that literally just sat the 2 chairs. Nothing else could be there. And I'm like, when did this stage? I've been on this stage many times.
I think they must have remodeled and did something.
They have different size stages.
Okay, gotcha.
Because they're trying to pack people in, but you got to be able to move on the stage. We do a funny thing with Unmasked. We like to call it zero prep. Just fly by the seat of our pants. One time I showed up and I was in the middle of the audience, and then my guest was out in the parking lot, and I had to interview him from there. There's a thing that was on Shark Tank. I want us to try to get serious to buy. All right, it's a ball that can be thrown around, and there's like a microphone in there, and it's made specifically for Q&As. So if you're doing a town hall, you could just chuck the ball to somebody, they catch it. The Shark Tank guys were freaking the fuck out. They're like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. This could be great at every Q&A I've ever been to was awkward. And now you just throw the ball around.
Wait, hold on. So you have to talk into the ball as the mic, or you can just hold it?
No, yes, it's like a microphone. Look, there it is right there.
It's a cue ball.
Yeah. Now, it's the best thing that ever happened. And you could just now throw that ball around rather than pass the mic. So the cue ball, what does it go for, Chris?
I'm finding a price now.
Yeah. Because before we buy one, I want Don to buy it for serious for the town halls. I guarantee you, we're going to be using these for town halls.
And the thing that I was just thinking of, that thing where, it always takes a little warming up for people. Like first question, everyone's like, who's going to ask the first question? And then by like question 4, 5, 10 hands go up.
Yes.
I feel like it's going to be really encourage people.
Yes, I
want the ball.
Yeah, I want to show everybody how good I can catch right off the bat. And I'm gonna ask the question to that person while the cue ball's in the air. It's $179.
$179, yeah.
Send it to Don right now. Yeah, just cut and paste that. Yeah, cut and paste it. And then send it to Don and say, wouldn't this be great for town halls? Cue ball. And then say, did it come in yet? Right.
But then, can we get either Sirius XM, Town Hall, Unmasked logo on the ball?
And bring up. It'd be great for branding.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. And then send the song Brandy. So, because I know he loves branding.
Ask him if we could also get a tiny gobo for it.
Yeah.
So no matter where it is in the room, we're hitting it with the gobo.
Add gobo to be taped on the side of it. Gobos seem like they're GoPros are gone. Remember when everybody used to make a big deal about a GoPro?
They're very exciting.
Gone. Nobody. I would go down the street in New York and everybody would have a GoPro just recording every single second of their day. No more.
Over.
No more. You know why? The millennials have the ability to hold their attention the same as a fruit fly. This has been proven. They just move on to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. So you didn't say anything to Steve Bennett?
I didn't say anything. He was with some executives.
Did you smile or wave?
I looked around and then but he was in conversation.
Jem, would you look up? Gail was telling me there's a new rape allegation. Let's find out who it is. And was it rape or just sexual assault?
Yeah.
Actual rape. Man, women hold it. What, Vito? You're taking over?
It was Asia Argento. Harvey Weinstein was accused by her.
Yeah, she's an Italian actress, I believe.
All right, but let me just say this, Vito. We're a team here, right?
Yes.
This was Jen's time. You looked it up first. Why couldn't you just hand your phone to Jen?
It happened. I happened to get texted about it 5 minutes ago, so that's the only reason I jumped in.
Sure, but why wouldn't you just hand that? Let it be part of the dish.
Okay, I shouldn't.
What are we doing? Pasta dish now? No. Is that it?
All these dishes can't be Italian, Vito.
Vito, are you excited about this Unmasked?
Yeah, I love Gilbert, and I've never seen Unmasked with a director and his documentary subject, so
I'm going to try to think if that's ever happened, because there's not a lot of comedy on Mass.
Barry Crimmins and Bobcat.
Yeah.
I wasn't there for that.
Well, that doesn't mean it didn't happen.
I said I never saw one.
Yes, but this isn't called the fucking How Do We Please Vito show, okay?
You can't report to the people it's never been done before because you weren't there.
No, I was asked if I was excited, and I said yes for this reason, a personal reason.
You're being defensive, and this should be Jen's time to be defensive. You shouldn't even be, I should be saying to Jen, this isn't all about you. But no, you made it about you instead of her making it about her.
And I saw Jen try to say Barry Crimmins and Bobcat Goldthwait, and he was just pushing her out of the way, away from the mic.
Jen, what's this I hear about your mom backing out of Thanksgiving?
Yeah, my dad wants to bring his girlfriend really bad, and she had made another commitment to something else. So, yeah,
she didn't. She just doesn't want to be in the same room.
We could put them at opposite ends. They don't ever two different exits.
What? I don't know whether you know this, but me and your mom get along very, very well. We were hanging out after the other unmask, and Jerry Cooney came downstairs, and Jen's mom. So happy to meet him.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So she can be my date that night, and let's make your dad jealous. Chris, make sure I have a stack of hundreds and a big fat roll that I'm constantly peeling out.
Got it. Get Ron a G stack.
Gee, what am I fucking? Am I homeless?
Multiple G stacks.
Thanks. Take it out of your settlement.
There, I can't talk about that.
Yeah, it came in.
Can't talk. There was just a settlement.
He's in the money. Chris in the money. Anyway, the important thing is this, Chris.
Yeah.
We're all fucking friends at Thanksgiving. Your mom doesn't have anything to do with that. She's just going to be sitting alone.
It's so early for there to be something that she had planned.
Is your whole sister coming?
Oh, no, she's not coming.
Why? Because your mom isn't?
No, me and her aren't getting along. So.
Oh!
Yeah. So it's just dad and girlfriend.
Now, you're not talking anymore?
It's just, we do, but here and there, not that much. So.
Is she dating one of your exes?
No.
She's done that before, though, right?
No.
That you know.
Well, what happened? What was the fallout?
It was just like a small sister thing. She took my clothes. I got mad. She did it again. I got mad again.
Share your clothes with your sister.
Yeah, you got to share your clothes.
Come on.
Me and my sister still share clothes.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm wearing this today, this short skirt, this sensible skirt. Somebody wrote to me that every powerful man in America has got to be freaking out because we just went, all these guys being taken down. And I'm like, yeah, every powerful rich guy,
Right.
I mean, why are you going to go around? It's just 12 years ago, some guy at a fucking chicken place fucking groped me. You know what I mean? You're trying to get some fat cash daddy-o out of this. Hurt him. Hurt him with it hurts and his G-stacks. But yeah, I mean, Bill O'Reilly, Roger Ailes, Harvey Weinstein, Harry Knowles. 4 of the most powerful people.
Yeah, it's so weird.
In old and new media. It's very, very strange. Now, Weinstein, his brother, they're already talking about taking the name Weinstein off of all the...
I was wondering if he was going to decide to do that and rename the company.
Well, first of all, Miramax was the deal.
Yes.
Weinstein, I'd take my fucking name off of all that shit anyway. It's, it's weird for people who went through the independent world. You know what I mean? That Miramax name used to be...
Yeah, massive.
The Miramax name was like Motown's name in the 60s. You know what I mean? It was just that stamp of, this is going to be good.
Yeah, it was like a full-on guarantee.
Yeah. It was like your own personal guarantee for your movie excitement. Laurie wrote to me something about the Alamo Giraffe House in Yonkers or whatever, because I'm going up that way. And I'm like, no, I don't think I want a milkshake and a burger when I'm watching a movie.
You don't. I honestly didn't enjoy the Alamo Draft House. Getting drinks booze and just food other than popcorn made it no better. It actually made it worse.
How did it make it worse?
Because I said
that's all you could focus on. Yeah,
I'm like, there's a menu there. There's a light underneath the table. I mean, it's well designed, but I don't want a bunch of fucking booze and food during the movie. I just want to pay. I wasn't paying attention to certain parts.
You don't have to order it just because it's there.
But it's hard not to. It's
a personal problem.
Also, it's a very large menu.
I know a lot of alcoholics who act like there shouldn't be bars, and I'm like, you can't. That's not the fucking point of life. You know what I mean?
It really bothered me, people who were smokers, then quit, and then were happy with the cigarette ban. Because works out for me that people can't smoke, No, dude, that's fucked up. Even if you don't smoke anymore, those are still your people. You forget, but those are your people.
That's why most of the anti-choice people are older. You know what I mean? Like people my age are like, yes, the baby's like, you forget what we were like when we were younger.
Right.
You're fucking like animals. You know what I mean? You didn't know what you were doing. You didn't have any money. Let them make the choice. This isn't about your choice.
You always know that stuff is bullshit because it ends up with until your granddaughter gets pregnant. Or,
Right,
you know what I mean? And then you're like, in this circumstance, it's fine.
It has to be done that way. Mike Dick has said that there hasn't been any oppression in this country in 100 years. That's spoken by a steak-eating, cigar-smoking white dude.
Why would he say something?
He's never been oppressed, Mike Dick. His life has been pretty good, and he's had a mustache throughout most of it.
He's going on like the veto idea where it's just like, just because you don't experience it, it doesn't happen.
Fucking Vito is the Mike Dick of this show. My dad and my uncle always hated Mike Ditka, but from being a player, and they said that every time he got tackled, he got up and started yelling for a flag.
Come on.
And they told me like years ago, they used to despise him. And I'm like, I heard he was great. I heard he's a badass. They said every tackle, he would jump up and start yelling at the ref. What the fuck? He had my nuts. Well, he didn't think a tackle deserved the flag. He acted like there was some kind of fucking foul that took place. You're all done your green. See, I go through the green juice too fast.
I know. I have savored the green.
By the way, Chris told me he bought that for us.
What?
Is that true?
No, I bought that. Why would you lie?
He likes to be cool.
I wanted to seem like a big man.
So when I walked away, you said, how'd you like the green juice I bought you?
That's what he said.
I said, I got you guys green juices.
Why would you say you guys?
That's so shitty.
But it's just me.
Got caught another fucking lie.
Yeah, it's his big salad. All right. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame put out their list of nominees, but how many go in? 5, Chris?
5 go in.
This is going to be very tough. I guess I'll let my rock and roll expert Jen answer some of this. I have your sister help, but I guess she put on your shoes or something. Those are my boots. All right, so Radiohead, would you put them in, Jen?
Radiohead?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, hell
Radiohead. Yeah. Is this their first? When was their first?
This is their first time, I think. Rage Against the Machine.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes, of course.
Okay. So that's 2 already. Bon Jovi.
No.
I'd like to hold off because I need to know everyone who needs
Can I
to go
just
in.
ask you something? How come Bon Jovi not be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Bon Jovi.
Yeah, he'll go in, of course.
It's not him, it's the band, Bon Jovi, okay? John Bon Jovi is the person.
I get confused. I just call him Bon.
So you're going to put in Rage that made like what, 1.5 albums
Okay.
before Bon Jovi, who was sold 90 million albums and still sells out any building in America.
Touche. John Bon Jovi goes in. Or Bon Jovi band.
Bon Jovi is a single artist. No, I'm not putting him in. Those songs, those country songs don't impress me. So you're thinking about taking Rage out now based on that album and a half.
I've locked down 3.
Only 5 go in, and we've got 3 right off the bat. This is why it's so hard to run a Hall of Fame.
I still don't think Bon Jovi. I think he can go in next year because Rage should be first ballot.
Yeah, but Bon Jovi came out in like 86.
So he's been waiting.
Yeah, he has been waiting.
What did Tom Petty say, Chris? Waiting is the hardest part. How do you not know that? You shouldn't be able to vote if you don't know that.
Shit. I want to keep my vote.
You're out of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Please, just give me one more shot.
Kate Bush.
Yeah. I like Kate Bush.
No for me.
Okay.
This has to be a Hall of Fame. Now, this is a band that came out, I believe, in 77, maybe even 78. It is still not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Tons of fucking hits that you could sing. And they're kept out every year. The Cars.
100% yes.
Yes.
You now have picked 4.
Shit.
You have 1 left. out of this next 28 people?
No.
Depeche Mode.
Look, my answer is yes, but I still need to know what the whole
No to
list
Depeche
is.
Mode.
No to Depeche Mode?
No to Depeche Mode. Yes to the Cars, yes to Rage, yes to Radiohead for me.
No Bon Jovi?
No Bon Jovi for me. He'll get in. He'll get his. Just not this year.
When?
I see 5 years.
not
Within
now,
the next
then when?
Within the next 5 years. You got to thin this field out a little bit more to get Bon Jovi in.
Dire Straits. I want my MTV.
No to Dire Straits.
No.
Why?
No to Dire Straits.
Why?
Because there are other bands.
Should we play the song Sultans of fucking Swing for you?
I think we should.
It's one of the greatest songs of all time.
I mean, that could move me.
This is why the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame may have to be disbanded. It's too fucking hard.
It's too difficult.
Oh. Well, Chris,
Still no Dire Straits.
What?
you're a dick.
I'm not a dick. It's a great song. I'm not saying it's not a bad song, but they
He's like
don't
one of
belong in
those
the hall.
Dire Straits
Guess what? I'm
trolls.
taking out Radiohead
I agree. After hearing that,
for the most overplayed creep song of all time, which, by the way, is a ripoff of another fucking tune. Do you ever know that?
no, I didn't know that.
Yeah. It is. It sounds exactly like The Air That I Breathe by the Hollies.
Really?
Yeah. All right, let's go and do this. By the way, if you want to get in on any of this Rock and Roll Fame talk, 844 Rock God, 844 Rock God. Who's in? Who's out? I don't know where everything is. I don't know who's in. I don't know who's out.
I don't know who's got the diamonds.
All right, what are you playing first, Chris?
I'll play Creep first.
Okay.
All right, this is.
And while you're doing that, you can, All right, enough of that. All right, now here's the Hollies.
Okay.
Air That I Breathe. By the way, no one else I've ever seen bring this up before.
Crazy to me.
See if anybody else has ever brought that up too. Chris, take a gander.
I'm gonna
Take a gander
gander.
around.
Yeah, I mean, you could actually just sing Creep over that track.
You could. Never comes up.
They just have people just will say Radiohead's Creep versus the Hollies, Air That I Breathe. But
That
no-
would be it, Chris. You fucking nut. I'm dealing with him. That's all they say. Don, North Kentucky.
What's up, buddy?
Hey,
First time caller, long time listener.
what took you so fucking long?
What are your thoughts on Fish never being mentioned going to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
Well, this is a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You know what I mean?
So you're saying Fish is in rock and roll?
I'm saying, is Fish even a band? Is anything even real there?
They are a band. They play instruments.
Come on now.
Fish, here's the problem
New
with
Year's
Fish.
Eve.
Fish, let's say, how many people show up at their concerts, Chris, any given night?
10, 12,000 people, 15,000 people, depending on the venue.
But much bigger than that. But no one cares
Way
about them
bigger.
outside of that venue. You know what I mean? Like you could, I'm sure that 90% of America has never heard of Fish. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I couldn't tell you a Fish song. I don't know any of their
People
songs.
who go to the concerts couldn't tell you a Fish song. They don't know when they go from one song to another song.
They just jam into the next.
No one knows. And then there's stupid lyrics like, we don't care about our band. Jen, do you or any of your friends, have you ever heard of Fish?
No.
Have you heard of Bon Jovi?
Yes.
Thank you very much. No further questions. You may step down. And, oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you, your sister has your purse. That's the problem with Fish. They don't mean anything outside of the people who are crazy in love with them.
Yeah. They have super fans
And
that
plus,
only want to listen to Fish.
and on the other hand as well, like they want their name to be pronounced as Fish. They say, please.
They can't force me to do
They're
that.
like, we're called Fish.
Fish heads.
Tim in Canada.
That's right.
Yeah.
Hey, Bennington. First time, long time. I think the Guess Who are still out, and that's crazy, right, Ron?
Well, first of all, the Guess Who belong in there, but it doesn't help that you're calling from Canada, promoting a Canadian band. But go ahead.
I honestly think Randy Bachman came up with some of the greatest rock riffs in history.
There's no doubt. The Guess Who belong in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They were considered like a little too poppy for like, the Rolling Stone people in the 1970s. But yeah, the Guess Who belong in there. All right, where were we? This band, the Eurythmics.
I love the Eurythmics so much.
It's crazy that they haven't gone in.
I'm very surprised by that. I mean, my vote would be in, but like I've said yes to too many at this point.
We can take out Rage and put them in. Jay Giles band.
That's
the greatest
obvious.
live band I've ever seen.
That's obvious, and that's one that it feels like. Why do we have to write this wrong this year? Somebody else should have taken care of this
what is the thought process for putting in a band that only did 1.5, 2 albums altogether? I mean, what is it? Did Rage change rock for the better?
It definitely had an impact on music, but I see what you're saying by better.
Not a lasting impact, that's for sure.
That is true. But
all those songs kill me, but there's just not enough of them. We're talking about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and this got us into when we were talking about, certain people that have a good season or two in sports. You're not going to put them in.
Right. And certainly, maybe not first round. I mean, it doesn't feel as pressing.
The other thing about Rage is that if they don't like each other, why should we like them? You know what I mean? I just think, I'm not even saying that they're an overhyped band. I'm saying if you're looking, a lot of people act like they made an impact, but I don't see it. Limp Bizkit is the only real fucking true impact, and that was awful.
Yeah, there was like an era of music that people tried to do what they did and really failed poorly.
Yeah, like bad rap rock.
Yes,
and that was
which some people would fucking call Rage bad rap rock. You know what I mean? If like if you don't like that shit, that's what Rage sounds like to you. And as far as being political, when it was time to be political, they weren't.
Yeah.
They didn't, they certainly don't put their political beliefs. Now, Camarel I might put in as a solo performer. Let me just try to, I'm going to take out one. Hey, Jay, down in Mississippi.
Hey, guys.
Yeah.
Hey, okay, so here's a fun fact for you. D.A. Pennybaker, who...
Yes, we all know him.
Yes.
Yeah, we all...
Documentary.
Okay.
You know that? You know that already?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we've had him on the show.
Okay, well, he did a documentary on Depeche Mode back in their heyday. Of course, he did Don't Look Back by Bob Dylan.
Yes.
I hate Depeche Mode. I don't think they should go in at all. But got her straight in the gallery. There's not a rock guitarist. The Mark Knopfler is just it.
Anytime you hear him touch a guitar, you know it's him. That's what amazes me about certain guitar players.
Yeah,
like you hear him playing for somebody else, and you're like,
very distinct.
It's like it's his voice. It's amazing. So, all right, we're putting them back in. Here is here's Mike in Atlanta. What's up?
Hey, I just it seems to me there's kind of a prohibition against progressive rock. They're talking about Depeche Mode was really cool, but bands like Yes
went in last year. People still complain about people who went in. Yes went in. Rush went in. There is prog rock in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
It was just slow moving to get those kind of bands in.
Yeah, I mean, they were not a critic's darling back in the day, but Yes went in last year. Judas Priest.
No. Does not get in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
It's not pressing for me.
Your fucking hero, Tom Morello, would put them in first fucking ballot. LL Cool J. And let me just give the whole name.
Oh.
Ladies Love Cool J. Or I think it's Ladies Love Cool James.
No, that's not.
I'm going to make a case for him.
Okay.
He stayed in incredible shape and looks exactly the same.
He doesn't look any different.
He looks, if I'm going to be so bold, better.
Yeah.
Better.
Somehow he aged into it.
I saw him downstairs once here, and it was only like a couple years ago, and I was like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? He looked like a statue.
He needs to change it to Everybody Loves Cool James.
I'm 100% for LL Cool J. Because he was there when nobody was fucking rapping. He had hits.
I feel like LL is too focused on his acting career now. Like the music has fallen off.
Dude, we just sat around. You're putting in a band that we don't even know where he's been.
Yeah, we don't know where Zach is. Probably
Yes.
South America.
And people say that, but he's probably in Beverly Hills. There's nothing that he's doing for the South American
I didn't realize
farmers or anything.
I didn't realize that he was missing. Not missing, but like
He's out from the beginning. I mean, have you ever heard about him doing anything?
No.
Let's go over here to Paul. Paul, what's up?
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Hey.
Hey, I was calling about Moody Blues. I think that they ought to be in long ago.
All right. Well, I'm going to write that in. I'm going to put that in as a write-in then. Thanks. Appreciate it.
All righty.
Drew in Tennessee.
Hey, what's up, Bang?
It's my dad.
Hey, 2000, I saw Against the Machine and System of a Down, and it was hands down the concert. I saw that. I heard you talking about them the same year, and that,
I think you said you saw Rage. They were fucking unbelievable, and I would agree with that. But to be Hall of Fame, it seems like something must take place. There should be a body of work. You know what I mean? And by the time you get to them covering Street Fighting, man, it's pretty fucking quick when you're looking at their body of work. I just don't think that there's enough there.
What other bands would you say had that, like, an impact, but with one or two albums? Are there any other rock bands that you would say?
And then you mean they stopped after that? You know, the kind of one-hit wonders are all throughout this thing. Well, there's a band located here on this list, the Zombies. The same kind of thing. They've never gone in. I mean, they made a classic album.
Yeah.
But, you know, what do you do? Do you say that's enough to get into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Or you have them sitting around where Rage should be in another 25 years? Still, like, people are like, yeah, that album is great, but repeti. Let's go here to Derek in Cedar Rapids.
Hey guys, great show.
Yes,
what do you guys think about Smashing Pumpkins for the Hall of Fame?
I would put them in the same kind of place that I'm putting Rage. There was a short, hot white light.
Yeah, very much so, yeah.
And then what? And then you're like,
what do you think? There's like two really popular albums that they did?
Yeah.
I would put one as one great album, though.
Yeah, second one was like with Butterfly Wings, that album.
That's a stupid fucking title.
Yeah, it was insane.
And what was the one, the weirdness, the one, the sad,
with the moon?
Yeah, but their famous one, and it's got a really stupid fucking title too. The Infinite Sadness of fucking My Bald
Melancholy
Head.
and the Infinite Sadness.
And I love that album.
And My Bald Head.
I love that album. But, you know, is there enough there? Here's another band that falls into the same category, still not in, and Rage definitely used them as an influence, MC5.
See, I think the MC5 has to go in, and I know they're like probably, 2-3 albums that they made?
Yeah, but one that anybody would care about, only one song that people, you know, would say, oh, that's gotten any radio play. There's not a body of work there. There's not enough work. And I think they're great.
Yeah.
Let's go to Teddy in Boston. Teddy.
What's up, guys?
Yeah.
One word. No, it's actually Joe. Jay Giles band.
Yeah. Best live band I've ever seen in my life. Changed their sound from the 70s to the 80s. They belong in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Jay Giles died last year, and he's not going to know it. I'll tell him someday. Hopefully a long, long time from now.
It's just weird that no one will tell him in between that time. Don't spoil it, please, because I want to be the one to tell Jay Giles.
All people that are dying right now, do not go up to Jay Giles. Jum in the Bronx.
Hey guys, what do you guys think of Dark Horse but Weezer for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? You got the longevity and
it seems to me like Weezer is one of those bands that should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They're
you
not
certainly
nominated
could.
because they haven't done their 20 plus years. They're not eligible, I guess.
They might not be eligible yet.
Is it 25
but
years?
This would be like early.
I think it's 25 years, but yeah, they've been active since 92, so they would be active.
Yeah.
So they didn't get nominated this year.
Yeah.
They did not get a first ballot nomination. And that happens.
And I mean, some people could say they've made a lot of albums. They've made 2
classic
great albums.
Yeah.
One, like maybe half to one.
2.5 albums.
Goodish album.
2.5 albums.
And about 3 or 4 that are
not so good. But I would say you can say that they had an impact. Absolutely had an impact
Now,
on.
by the way, do you have more respect for that or somebody like Rage who just does it and then even stops trying? You know?
Yeah, it's tricky because I try not to punish them for sticking around because I loved them so much when I was young. And I know a lot of people who loved them as much as I did when we were young. And they're like, do you believe they fucked everything up by making all this shitty music? I'm like, I think they like making music. It's not for us anymore. I don't know who's out there who likes the new stuff, but they might exist.
Asian girls.
And
Asian girls fucking love it.
But yeah, I don't want to punish them for continuing because all everyone said is, why won't they get back together and make a new album? And as soon as they did, they're like, stinks.
Gail, look how long this list is. And Weezer isn't even on it.
I know.
That answers every question you need to know.
Good point.
Nina Simone.
Oh, man. Nina Simone has to be in there.
Is she rock and roll, though?
No. But there's so many people who aren't really rock and roll.
I know that's a problem though.
I know
it's a problem from the beginning that there should be a jazz, a blues Hall of Fame.
100%. But the problem is you let other people in there who weren't rock and roll. And now you're like, are you seriously not going to put Nina Simone in?
I would agree with you on that case, but I would also go back to the purity of this. I mean, Cleveland itself is known as a pure, clean rock and roll city. All right.
Mm-hmm.
All the little chicks with their crimson lips say Cleveland rocks. What are you trying to type? What the fuck are you trying to type over there today? By the way, he started strong, and then we hit him with a couple Logic fucking bombs, and he's just laid it down. He is fucking taking a knee like Colin Kaepernick.
Black Lives Matter.
Our President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, said that he will put his IQ against Rex Tillerson's any day.
That's so funny.
Yeah. And then Tillerson told Trump to act his age, not his hand size. So those two are just at each
really
other.
Going
Burn.
Yeah. I'm Mike Ditka, and there hasn't been oppression in this country in 100 years. The last depression was 1917, the day that the Titanic went down. Kyle, where's your valid point?
All right, dude, you were talking about body of work, right?
Yes.
Is there a better body of work in American rock and roll than Todd Rundgren?
Well, first of all, I'm the choir, and you are preaching to me.
I didn't
He's not
realize
in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Ronnie.
I didn't realize that he wasn't.
Not as a group, not as a soloist, not as a producer. Todd Rundgren, not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And I know a lot of people who say he can be very difficult, but I think he's done this show like 3 or 4 times. And every time he's been just a lovely man. Brilliant, too.
I feel like sometimes people don't take into account personality types with musicians, too.
They
They act a little different. I mean, anytime we've had a a musician guest, they behave very different than an actor versus a comedian. They have a different way of communicating.
What do you mean by that? I'm very curious.
I don't know. Like, I think that they tend to be a little bit more pensive, a little less like reactive in conversation. So it takes them a moment to kind of. They'll be the type to kind of let your questions soak in first. They think about
this
it
a little bit. I've never noticed that, but I'm gonna ponder it.
Please do.
Yeah.
Please ponder.
I'll say this: I think every time I seen Todd Rundgren, he came in with a newspaper.
Really?
I always had a newspaper with him, and I always
that.
was like, "Yeah,
Catch him up."
yeah." Tell the Lynn Coplitz story when Jen went out to get Lynn Coplitz.
Oh, I love it so much. Jen went to go check on Lynn in the lobby just before she came in to do Gail Meets Girls, and she said she had all her mail out, and she was just reading her mail.
She was sorting through her mail.
Sorting through her mail and reading through her personal mail. And then she even said to Jen something like, I know this is weird. Like, I know this, I'm a weird person for doing this.
Yeah, because I guess now people don't have paper mail. They have emails or they pay their bills online. She had all her bills just like laid out.
I would be worried I'd lose stuff. You know what I mean? And all of a sudden, lights and phone would start going off. I haven't been in charge of paying the bills in so long. I have no idea even how to fucking what's due and what's not. I probably would start screaming, "Wait, I'm bleeding money," if I found out.
Plus, the few things that are like what do you call that? Like auto pay. Don't make fun of me because I dropped the mic. I thought I had a really good point.
Yeah. She had a good point about pensive musicians, and then she threw the mic down.
Chris, go to break when I do that.
But why wouldn't you put Todd Rundgren in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? What are you thinking?
I would have assumed that he was already in. It's shocking.
That's why you got to stop assuming.
I know.
You need to do what I do. Just go over this fucking list constantly. All right, we're only going to put in. All right, here's who we picked so far. Eurythmics, Jay Giles, Bon Jovi, Rufus featuring Chaka Khan, and
we did?
the Zombies.
Wow.
Is it the Zombies or Judas Priest? Who do we want to win?
The Zombies.
Zombies.
I'm still picking Priest. That guy died last year, Can't feel bad about that. Can't feel bad about anything. That's what I'm saying. Chuck wants to talk to you, Chris Stanley.
All right, Chuck.
Chris, I believe that fucking steady puss has fucked your mind up.
True. That's true, Chris.
Yeah, what's that?
Rage Against the Machine? God damn, I mean, I think you really can't go with your heart when you start voting on Rock and Roll Hall of Fames and any kind of Hall of Fame. You got to look at the overall picture.
That's how
I agree. I agree. And you haven't made a case for them other than you said they're awesome.
They are awesome. 2 great albums.
I couldn't.
No, not 2 great albums.
One fucking song that they got. If Rage Against the Machine needs to get in, Freddie and the Foreskins need to get in.
Okay, that's too far.
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
Hey, Chris.
Yes,
Chris,
Chuck.
I was thinking about you, man.
That's cool. About
I'm
what?
sitting on top of a mountain on my tractor eating beef jerky, drinking Budweiser, and I just got through smoking a big joint of skunk weed.
That sounds fucking fantastic.
That sounds really nice.
Seriously. That sounds like that could be my dog.
And I'm not gonna lie, particularly the beef jerky.
Yeah. They say it's the best thing for you.
Yeah. All right, Ronnie. I hadn't talked to him in a while. Y'all keep doing the deal.
Thank you, man. We're doing the deal. Thanks, buddy. Chris, you took. If I was a giant Rage fan,
yeah,
and I'm a pretty good Rage fan, not a giant one, I'd be furious with you right now. Now, Chris in California, what's up?
Hey guys, just based on your criteria, I would, once they're eligible, the Foo Fighters, I think would be an easy in for the Rock.
They're a slam dunk.
They're just great.
Foo Fighters are a slam dunk.
Love those guys.
Yeah, I call them this generation's Genesis. Yeah, I don't think anyone is going to slow the Foo Fighters down.
Yeah, they'll go in.
They're eligible in 2 years.
Well, wake me up then.
I will.
Wake me up when September ends.
Ron, the Foo Fighters eligible.
When September ends.
I was playing when I was peeing.
And by the way, I don't think Rage is going to get back together for this either. And I hate bands that won't come back together. Van Halen. Oh, we'll wait later.
You've got to make sure that you're saying it's also important to us. It's important to you, the fan, but also us. If you don't show up.
The Eagles are doing something with SiriusXM in Nashville. And they got done. Glenn Fry's son plays with the band.
Oh, really?
Now. Yeah, which I'm always a fan.
Yeah, I like that
of
too.
That.
I think it's very.
I mean,
sweet.
if you're going to go back, it isn't the Eagles of the 1970s, but you go to fucking cover bands, you idiots. There's some people in a band that are irreplaceable. Some people you're like, yeah, I'm seeing the Stones, but. But because you have Mick and Keith, that's irreplaceable. I think if you lost Mick or Keith,
you don't really ever feel like
you don't.
You wouldn't feel like you saw them.
Yeah, you couldn't go around saying I saw the Stones one time. It was Keith Richards and the fucking guy from Blue Oyster Cult singing lead. They were great. Like the Doors, I think they called themselves the Doors of the 21st century or something, and they would have different people filling in. That's fine because they're not calling themselves the Doors.
Yeah. That's their LB dust.
Right. Everybody should have their own kind of Long Beach Dub All-Stars. Darren in Florida. Darren.
Hey, man, I would say the Pixies. Now, you might not think they have a long career, but they're the ones who really created that soft, loud sound that Nirvana.
Yeah, you don't have to pitch the Pixies to anybody here. As far as I know, they haven't even ever been nominated. Yet Chris is going to throw in some of these other bands like there's nothing.
And I would say that they absolutely have enough quantity. I mean, nobody would say that. And you would say at least 4 like masterpiece albums.
Yeah, 4 masterpiece albums is about as far as any band can go.
Yeah.
It's very hard to write more than 4 amazing albums. Me and my brother came up with 7 between us. Between us, not together.
Now, on the same idea of what you were just talking about, losing a member of band that's important, is seeing the Pixies without Kim Deal the Pixies?
The short answer is no. And yet they're still the Pixies. They're still out there. But we all know Kim Deal's coming back at some point.
Yeah.
That's what always bugs you about that. And I know that if they went in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the original 4 would come back together for it. You know what was weird when I had the Pixies in? Is like, they didn't even seem like they knew each other. You know what I mean?
No.
Like
they're not warm with each other.
They're not warm at all. Watch that documentary, and they were like 4 individuals, and that band isn't big enough for them to act like that. You know what I mean? Like when you're Led Zeppelin, you can see that everybody would have their own tour bus, but Pixies, no, I don't think so. This thing is a fun annoyance every year.
Yeah.
A fun annoyance. It's a way to disagree with your friends and family, which I love.
I like that it tears us apart.
Yes. But it's always surprising when you look at somebody, like, of course you want, Radio and Rage to go in because it's their first year, but then you go, Eurythmics never got in?
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
J. Giles never got in? The Meters are on here? Moody Blues are on the list, Chris.
Nights in White Satin. My dad would love that.
Oh, you go deep, don't you, knowing that song? Chris goes very, very deep. Duke, Manhattan.
Hey, what about the Flaming Lips for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
See, I think they're the kind of band that never goes in to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That's always on the outside because they set themselves up that way. Here's John. John, what's up?
Hey, Benningtons, what's up? I wanted to ask about Joy Division. Why are they not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? And number 2, New Order used to be Joy Division. They lost Peter Hook. They're still New Order, in my opinion. There's a lot of guys online who hate New Order not having Peter Hook in it, and it drives me batshit.
You know who it drives batshit? Peter Hook. He's fucking furious, man. He is furious. Joy Division, early on, they made a thing in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You can't commit suicide and get into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Doesn't seem fair.
You can OD and go into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And I got to say, I admire them for those rules.
I think that rule should change.
The only way I think it's okay is if you're playing Russian roulette and the gun goes off. Because, like, you weren't really trying to kill yourself. You're just being reckless.
But Joy Division, have they been nominated before and just didn't get in?
Didn't get in. They're not part of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They never even did an American tour.
Yeah, but still.
But still what? You got to be able to do an American tour.
It's because he committed suicide.
Yes, exactly. Sometimes you commit suicide with your career. Sometimes you commit suicide with your life. I'm sorry, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You cannot allow Joy Division in. Here are the bylaws. No suicide. Only reckless behavior. Matt, what's up?
Hey, guys. Listen, we can't even talk about Depeche Mode getting in unless Kraftwerk gets in, and I believe they're even nominated this year. I want to talk about...
According to my list, you are incorrect.
No Kraftwerk.
Ever. Really?
Ever.
Yes. They are too German to get in. And may I remind you, 6 million Jews died.
Thank you.
And I'm not going to put a fucking German in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame until somebody from that country apologizes. Not one person from Germany has ever apologized.
I can't believe that's true.
Dude, I was watching the Spielberg thing, and they were just showing stuff from Schindler's List. And I'm like, I can't. It's so depressing and it's so sad. That fucking movie?
It's too much. I've seen it once, and I remember thinking, well, that's the last time I ever see that. There's no way I want to go through that experience.
Beautifully
again.
shot.
Yeah.
But when the little red dress ends up on the...
No.
Oh, my God.
It's horrible.
This Spielberg doc, I don't know whether you can make a true documentary and have the guy there, because it should just be called a tribute to Steven Spielberg. Like, I'm sure he's done some bad shit, and they go quickly over, his Peter Pan and 1941. You know what I mean? They're just like, that didn't work the way we wanted. You know what I mean? But they could have spent a lot of time on both those movies going, how'd you fuck that up so bad? But they show him directing Gertie in E.T. You know what I mean? And he's like, and now you're surprised. And it's the little shock that you see her have.
Uh-huh.
And then cut. That was great, honey. And she can't stop herself from crying. And E.T.'s not even there. She's such a great little actor. She got herself in such a pitch. She was almost nervous breakdown.
Oh my God, I have to see that.
It's a documentary that's longer than any Spielberg film. And I'm not making this up. It was on for hours and hours, but I just, I was just happily watched the whole thing. And all you guys are drunk, alcoholic / drug addicts for not watching the TV season of Get Shorty. The last episode was unbelievable.
Man,
I didn't see shit coming.
Really?
Yes.
Damn, I gotta jump in.
It's not only better than Get Shorty the movie, it's better than Be Cool when Chili Palmer went back and got into the rap and rock business.
Wow.
Vito, not even you will watch this show. You sit around and watch every dumb show that there is.
I don't get Epix.
Is there an app for Epix?
Is it on Epix?
It's on Epix, and that's one of those movie channels that I don't get.
It.
You gotta have every channel.
I don't have every channel.
Well,
I knew there was a reason that I would like.
No, because Epix is like a pay, like it's like HBO Stars and everything. So I mean,
yes, there's fucking Showtime shows on Hulu. There's yeah.
I could probably know somebody with an Epix password, so I got to work some.
He's not asking you to steal.
Okay,
he's not condoning that.
I'll steal.
Chris, you couldn't even defend Rage. You just let him fucking get beat down by us. I was looking for a little fun here, a little excitement. You to come back with facts. That's what you do when you debate Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You have to come back and you're not even, I mean, you sit and type in everything. You didn't go like, how can I fucking tell somebody that they belong in the rock? He won't even attempt it. Let's see. Zach in Florida.
Hey, buddies.
Yeah.
Gail said something earlier about there's a lot of people in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame that aren't rock and roll. So I think offer a solution is we vote people out of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, not just into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame every
Well, then
year.
people aren't going to celebrate when they go in. They'll just go, I don't know how long we're going to stay.
I don't feel
this
safe.
Is really nerve-wracking.
All of these
that makes it better.
all these
You gotta be on
exhibits are
edge.
temporary.
Yeah, you can't wash our history. It exists.
Your album cover goes gray when you get voted out. The Rock and Roll.
Oh, that's so fucking
Oh, it's real
tight-end.
now.
Yeah.
It's so real now.
Dan Deacon, I guess you want yourself to go in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Hey, Dan in the Delaware Destroyers. Who do you want in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
It's got to be Little Feat. Don't know how they're not in there.
First of all, Lowell George should have his own wing of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Speaking of Lowell George, I got a great story. I know you're a Philly guy. You know, remember Ed Shockey, the great
Of course
disc
I
jockey?
do. It was one of my first disc jockeys I ever listened to.
Right, me too. Tells a great story. He was introducing him at a venue in Philly. I don't recall the venue. And Lowell George was late, and he rolled up, grabbed a new shirt, ripped it out of the packaging, took the cardboard that was in the shirt, dumped cocaine in the cardboard, huffed it, and walked out on stage, did a full show.
I don't know why Ed Shockey needs to fucking, out people.
A narc.
Yeah.
A narky.
That's good. Ed Shockey used to come out, right, and he would do the announcements at the Spectrum. And he looked kind of like a Harry Knowles of his fucking time. And the people would just boo the shit out of him. Boo! And I'm like, I'm trying to fucking hear who's coming to the Tower Theater.
Why would they?
I want to go to the main point. They booed everybody there. When I was a kid in Philly, no matter who you would see, they would boo the two opening acts. They would boo throughout the fucking show. And I'm like, Zeppelin isn't coming out any earlier, man. We're just going to fucking deal with this. We'll get to hear some music. Some of those bands, not bad at all. Some of them end up headlining the same place another 6 months later.
And then they were nice and happy for that.
Yeah, and then they're like
booed
rocking,
someone else.
And they would fucking throw M80s at them. They would fucking chuck chairs. They were just animals. I mean, this isn't a fucking Eagles game. We're going to eventually win with this team. Thursday night.
Yep.
Eagles Panthers. See if they're real or not. So far, they've beaten all the losers. That's
Right.
their impressive
Good at that.
thing. Yeah.
They're very good at that.
One team that wins, they lost to. I don't know how anybody looks better than those Packers just because of their QB. That fucking guy's unbelievable. I call him the Ron Bennington of professional football. I don't know if that's a little, you know what I mean? That probably comes off bad.
Enjoy
me saying
it. You want me to start saying it so that's so you feel
if
better?
I enjoy something, I'll say that to people. I go, "You're the Ron Bennington of sushi, my man. You're just doing your thing." Peter, what are you smiling about over there? You look like
He's having a good time today.
Huh?
He's having a really good time today.
You look like an oversized Mexican. I'm going to be totally honest. That bandana around your head.
This is not one of my. This is actually my least favorite bandana, and I avoid wearing it.
But
why?
It's tight.
Here's the great thing about you, though. You're letting your hair grow out for the first time, and it makes your bandana look better and your beard look better.
It does because my hair is not like falling down and looks all sloppy. It like holds it back. I'm loving the long hair, but this bandana is not an optimal choice for me.
Why? What's the problem with it?
It's tight. It's really tight. Like I have to take it off every like 45
Are
minutes.
you sure your head's not just getting fatter?
No, because all my other bandanas fit fine. But you'll notice I never wear this light blue one.
No, I don't notice anything
You
about
will tend to notice this.
And those are wrapped
You'll
around your
notice it
head.
now.
No, I won't.
It's also a thicker, hotter fabric. So the other ones are a nice lighter material.
Yeah.
And it's all the same company, so it's really
Dude, I gotta tell you right now, you look like, if I was gonna call you, like, if you were in a band, it would be Oversized Lover Boy. Everybody's walking. Doesn't he look like the guy from Lover Boy?
He really does.
I have to look him up now and see what he looks like.
Go ahead and look him up. You have every right
Chris has
to.
Google open, so I thought he was
Isn't that technically not even a headband? It's a headband, not a bandana.
It's a headband, yeah.
It's not a band. A band.
You keep calling it a bandana.
I've never once said bandana.
Chris, I'm sitting here. No, he said headband like 30 times.
Did he?
Yeah, he did.
Then you says, is it technically a headband? And we went, yeah.
It totally
Holy
is.
shit, I heard bandana.
No, he never said bandana.
You're having a stroke. I don't think he'd wear a bandana.
No. Never.
Now, personally, I think
it does look like made up.
Dude,
That's
yeah.
perfect. And you know, the hair texture is pretty similar.
Look how the dude next to him is just like, here, Chris, pull it back so you can see him pointing his finger. Like, whoa, man,
Whoa.
you're a photographer. Fucking weirdo lover boy.
I'll find a red button-up shirt for tomorrow. Chris, can you bring in a black
It's
muscle
not the
shirt?
only shirt that he's ever worn. Don't get, but he does.
This isn't like, oh, you know the lover boy picture, right? It's just from that.
But I think that dude did wear red a lot, though. Now, come to think of it, so I thought I saw him like in red leather pants one time.
Here he is, just straight black.
Ah, way to prove me a liar.
Chris had to search for that. He had to go through a lot of other Google image pictures.
Look at the guy next to him, so pouty.
Yeah.
I'm old and pouty.
I miss when I used to point at the camera.
And, it looks like he's taking a razor and fucking just chopped his shirt into being a vest. A lot of fucking kerchiefs in that band.
Yeah.
They're wearing bandanas but around their neck, Chris.
That's fine.
Maybe that's where you got it from.
Now, do you think that there's any frustration? Because, like, look at the amount of accessories. So,
Yeah.
starting from the left, you've got goggles. Then you've got bandana. Then you've got headband goggles. Then back to bandana. Different kind of bandana.
And these are like welding goggles. You can't put that on. You can't see shit in that.
And I like the idea, like someone turn to like headband guy and go, how come he gets headwear and goggles? He has two accessories.
I'm gonna wear my socks around my wrist to look really fucking cool. And the funny thing is, then they come out and they play much lighter music. You know what I mean? They act like that they're fucking big rock band, but then they're all like, "That's what I like about you." You know, they're like a little power pop. They don't know what they're doing.
They should go in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
They've
though.
been in first fucking ballot. This is interesting. John from Oklahoma. It says, "What about bad singer?" That can't be right. John, what do you got?
Yes, sir. I was just wanted to throw some 2 cents in there about Bad Fingers. I don't think they're inducted yet, are they? They've been around since the 60s.
Who are we talking about?
Bad Finger.
Bad Finger.
Oh, Bad Finger.
Yeah.
Again, suicide. Kept them out.
Damn it.
Are you shitting me?
Nope. They will not let them in if there's a suicide.
Believe me, I'm on your side. You know, I was pushing for Joy Division.
Patrick in New York. Patrick.
Hey guys.
Yeah.
You guys were talking about Schindler's List before.
Yeah.
And I always think of that scene where the little kids are all getting like on the bus and like they're playing like ice cream music or something to get the kids all happy, like they're going someplace special. And all the parents are just like, "Don't go!" You know, that's the scene. It kills me.
You know,
absolutely kills me.
Here's a scene that they showed in the Spielberg thing that I can barely watch. Is that they all come in with their luggage, right? And they're just taking their luggage into this room where they're systematically going through it, and all the clothes are being burned, all the jewelry's being put one place. And just the fact that you think, like, take all the things that you need, and then people are just treating it like this is a value, this isn't, you know? Schindler's List is just, oh, God, it's unbearable.
Too sad.
Unbearable. And to think that Jerry Seinfeld was making out during that movie.
Disgusting.
I mean, that's one time I absolutely agreed with his parents. Absolutely agreed with his parents.
I mean, it is sick.
Did you see Schindler's List in in a theater?
No, I did not see it in a theater.
People were sobbing. Sobbing. I'm gonna definitely try to see Braid Runner. Braid Runner. You Braid Runner! On by this weekend, and then Monday will be an extensive talk.
I can't wait.
Does he have a blade and does it run?
We're gonna have to wait to see.
Thank you, Chris.
Spoilers.
No, he's a no spoiler guy.
No,
Vito, he spoils everything.
He's spoiled rotten.
Yeah, he is. He's a spoiled rotten tomato. You didn't even go to see it yet, Vito?
No, I want to see it this week.
He wants to see it on TV.
No,
That's his
I
favorite
want to
way.
see it in IMAX really badly.
Oh God,
fucking IMAX.
The ratios are different for the IMAX presentation. So
Yes.
Presentation.
You know
Why
why?
does that matter?
Now it's about looking at pretty rather than enjoying a movie.
Well, the director he's really known for like his how beautiful his movies look. So I just wanted to
other
see
directors aren't known for that.
It. But he's
everyone else thinks
The last time I had to go to a fucking IMAX, I ended up watching 1/4 of the screen.
Gonna keep turning my neck.
How big is an IMAX theater?
I'm
Never
also
been to
trying
one.
to go.
Oh, you
I've
haven't?
never been to
They're
one.
massive.
They're so huge.
Especially the Lincoln Square one it's
Like how,
intimidating.
like how much bigger than a regular movie screen?
100 times bigger.
Seriously, that much
yeah,
bigger?
it like covers you. It's
No,
crazy.
Here's another reason why I hate the Lincoln Square one. I don't like taking 7-8 minutes of escalator rides.
Yeah.
It takes me forever to get there.
The last one I saw was what's the Batman movie?
Dark Knight?
Batman.
Yeah. I saw Dark Knight in one. And the part when he jumps out of it was like the whole audience went, "Ugh." It felt so fucking crazy.
I forget who I was having in. Maybe it was the director. But the Tom Cruise in Dubai movie where he's outside of the building.
Mission Impossible.
I don't know which one. There's a lot of Mission Impossibles. I felt like I was going to throw up. I mean, it's gigantic and you're falling in Dubai with him. I'm like, this isn't like, I'm not on a roller coaster. I want to see a fucking movie. I heard Tom Cruise had another flop. And they said it's a pretty good movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah. See, the fact that you guys didn't even know they came
Yeah.
out goes to show you what's
Yeah.
happened to the world, where we don't have movie stars anymore.
I think the Mummy really affected. Like I think
No,
after
it
the
goes
Mummy,
back longer than that, dude. It's people don't give a fuck about movies other than, everyone's going to go to Star Wars. And that thing came out the other day.
Last night.
The trailer.
Yeah. Did you see it?
Yeah, I watched it.
What'd you think? Awesome sauce?
It's just gonna be awesome ball sauce.
What do you honestly think?
I mean, it just looks like another fucking Star Wars movie. I didn't like the last new one, and this one. I mean, it's weird to see
I will
Mark
say this.
Hamill acting.
I enjoyed this trailer more than I enjoyed the last movie. I'm like, this looks pretty fucking
I still
good.
haven't seen the last movie.
All right.
The one where they get the plans. I didn't see that one yet.
Do you like Han Solo? You like Han Solo?
Yeah. No, I saw that one. I saw that one. The one in between.
Oh, no one cares. That one doesn't matter, right?
Oh, okay.
That's a one-off
that one is just a prequel to the
sequel.
to the original series.
It's a prequel to the sequel.
Okay.
So it's basically the first Star
What's
Wars.
that one called?
That's Rogue
Creed.
One.
Okay.
Rogue One. That one sets up A New Hope, the original Star Wars.
Okay, so I did not see Rogue One, but I did see
Force Awakens.
Force Awakens.
The director of the new movie actually doesn't really want you to see the trailer that much. He thinks it gives too much away.
I want to see.
By the way, that
trailer.
goes to show you how important directors are these days.
Especially Disney.
That the man who directs the movie isn't in charge of the trailer.
The way Disney handles their directors is terrible. Like, so many directors walk out on movies because the studio's too overbearing.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we were all supposed to be so happy we got rid of George Lucas, the fucking person who created it.
They turned their back on him.
Your fucking generation, Vito. Your millennial generation sickens me.
Disgusting.
Look at these wildfires. What happened there? Look at that shit.
Yeah, it's horrifying.
I hate to say it, but people were never supposed to live in California. You know what I mean? Like, we just fight nature there all the time. California is supposed to be a desert up against an ocean that cracks all the time.
Yeah, and like, look at those images. It's just it's so
disgusting.
vast.
It's
and
horrifying.
Yeah.
When you see those people that they're driving out of their house and there's fire on both sides of the road, you're like, this is a horrible dream. 10 people died in this. 10 people couldn't outrun a fire. It's mind blowing to me. But here we are, a late October summer. We've never had a break from summer on the East Coast.
That's really weird. Today, just like walking out there, and it's just like everyone is still in summer clothes.
Yeah.
It just looks. It's really weird.
I saw Trump this morning, and they were asking about the weather, and he goes, "I'm honestly starting to get scared." He goes, "I don't even know what this is." He goes, "I'm starting to get scared, really scared."
It's not comforting from your president.
Then he says he hasn't seen any of his kids since the Russian probe. He goes, "I don't even know them." He goes, "I wasn't even that familiar with them. I'd left them and their mom, and then they came back around. I don't know what they were up to." Did you see Ivanka's mom? What's her name? Ivana Trump?
Ivana, yeah.
So she's on Good Morning America yesterday. This is why the Trumps are the best. And she said, "They're all my children, all the children of my children. I'm really the first lady."
Fucking love that.
It's unbelievable.
She's like, first lady, I'm in first wives club. She's like,
Yeah.
well,
So-
before her.
And
Me
then
first.
Melania fucking put out a press release. See what the exact quote was. Because the quote, I don't even want to fuck it up. It's so great. Vito and Chris, both of you guys rush. See who gets it first.
After
He
gets
just went like that. He just sniffing. It's Melania Trump about, and it has something to do with noise. Just put in that.
All right, First Lady Melania Trump says her comments were just...
No, by the way, she didn't say it. She put out a press release. So somebody helped her write this.
Ivana's comments were attention-seeking and self-serving noise.
This is great.
So I have on CNN yesterday, and they bring in Andy Cohen. And Andy Cohen's like, "This is great." He goes, "This is my show. They're stealing my show and doing it." He goes, "I should be on there interviewing them. I would have all the wives on together." Because like, if you're like Don Jr., you might be like mad at your mom for saying that, but then you're like, "Melania, please. I don't need you making it worse."
Yeah. Don't say that my mom's just noise.
You're just noise. You took my dad away from my second mom.
You'll never be my mom.
You'll never be my stepmom. That other woman's my stepmom. I forgot her name. The one who's the mother of Tiffany.
Marla Maples.
Thank you. Marla Maples is my real stepmom. You'll never be my Marla.
You might be first lady, but you'll never be my mom.
I had a buddy that had a stepmom when we were like in 6th or 7th grade, and we held at him about it.
It's so common now.
Yeah.
It would be
So-
just weird.
His mom's name was Peggy, and we used to call him a Peggy fucker instead of a motherfucker. I go, "Peggy fucker, put that down." Why don't you just go home with the woman that your dad fucks instead of your mom? Just the way little boys talk about sex is just pure fucking aggression.
It is.
It's just disgusting. Why don't we take a break here, kids? Oh my God. Now the fucking stumbling begins. First, before we take the break, here's something I want to talk about, and that's Ring. Ring's mission is to make neighborhoods safer. Today, over 1 million people use the amazing Ring video doorbell to help protect their homes. Ring knows home security begins at the front door, but it doesn't end there.
So now they're extending that same level of security to the rest of your home with the Ring Floodlight Cam. Just like Ring's amazing doorbell, Floodlight Cam is a motion-activated camera and floodlight that connects right to your phone with HD video and two-way audio that lets you know the moment anyone steps on your property.
See and speak to visitors, even set off an alarm right from your phone. With Ring's Floodlight Cam, when things go bump in the night, you'll immediately know what it is. Whether you're home or away, the Ring Floodlight Cam lets you keep an eye on your home from anywhere.
Ring Floodlight offers the ultimate in home security with high visibility floodlights and a powerful HD camera that puts security in your hands. With Ring, you're always home. Save up to $150 off a Ring of Security kit when you go to ring.com/comedy. Ring.com/comedy. That's ring.com/comedy.
It's the Bennington Show. I'm going through the tweets. A lot of people mad, making points for different bands, particularly Rage, that they felt weren't made for them. Like, oh, okay, so should Nirvana not be in the Hall of Fame then? Good. Here's one aimed at us. Are we shitting on 1941 now? I fucking love that movie. Watch the Spielberg doc to see who shits on it. Spielberg does. What about the replacements for the Hall? Best American rock and roll band of all time. Will it ever happen? Looks like no. For some reason, they're still not even nominated.
They've never been
this
nominated?
year. No, I know they're not nominated this year. Let's see. Boston Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. What about the Cars? Yes. I would put the Cars in first before anybody else. So it went on and on. Look at these two pictures. Side by side.
Side by side of Chris from Eddie from Rocky Horror.
When Adrian Peterson trade came down, NFL owners said they would consider a rule change that would require players to stand for the national anthem. Well, they could do that anytime they want. No one's stopping them. This Rage discussion is mildly infuriating. They ruled the landscape through 3 amazing albums and how do you say that word? Encapsulated.
Encapsulated,
a moment. Those are the points that Chris Stanley should be making for you. You have to have a defender in these things, and it was and it's supposed to be Chris Stanley. The Alamo Drafthouse is great. The Centaur has no freaking taste.
No, the Alamo
or
Drafthouse.
dick.
I do have penis.
All these years, I always heard that the Alamo Drafthouse is great.
Me too.
And then Chris Stanley goes, and I mean, obviously, he showed up drunk and stayed drunk.
I should have buzzed that got drunk.
But that's all it takes for you. That's your one bad review.
Oh, yeah, I'll never go back.
I mean, for Ron, I wouldn't say your own experience is a review for you later.
I'm going to go over that review I made of my own life.
Then Jim said, you know who likes Rage Against the Machine? Paul Ryan. That is true. Paul Ryan, when he was running
that was
time.
very strange.
Yeah, a lot of people, they listen to music, but not the lyrics. They don't get the lyrics at all.
Right.
So it's very weird that you could be a Paul Ryan and love that. Gilbert Gottfried Unmasked Wednesday, November 1st, 6 o'clock at the Village Underground. He's going to have the director of the documentary on his life with him. And this documentary is supposed to be absolutely amazing. I'm going to see it soon. Gilbert Gottfried, a Gilbert Gottfried story, opens in select theaters November 3rd.
Go to the ibang.com for a chance at free tickets. Again, that's Wednesday, November 1st at 6 p.m. at the Village Underground in New York City. Gilbert Gottfried.
Up on the iBang today, it's 25 great tweets by Bonnie McFarlane. I suggest you count them.
I'm definitely going to check that out, even though I follow her on Twitter and like all her tweets. I still want to find out what the best are. She's hilarious.
I was watching this. It was Get Shorty, and they had a juicing press on there. This ridiculous juicing press, and I'm like, I think I want one of those. I always love when you get something new for the kitchen that makes life just fantastic, even if that's just a trendy thing.
Yeah, I would agree. I bought a food processor. It was like a fucking game changer for me.
Well, what was a food processor? It's like a blender, but better?
Yeah, it's like a blender, but you can also dice and you can throw everything in.
First of all, I dice myself. I'm a very good dicer.
One can, but I
love dicing, though.
I'm very sensitive to onions.
I'm just the opposite.
You're not sensitive at all?
I could sit on a battleship and dice for everybody on the battleship, and I'd be fine.
Holy shit, really? I'm so fucking sensitive to
I actually took a raw cut onion, and rubbed it in my eye just to see if I'd feel anything, and I didn't.
That's insane.
Yeah, I might be a clone. Or Cyborg.
Last Christmas, my mom bought me onion cutting goggles, and I do wear them in the kitchen
That's
when I
embarrassing.
cook. And there are these pink goggles that I wear when I cook, so I look like I'm
Anytime you use onion?
Anytime.
Anything else bother you? Like scallions or anything?
No, scallions are much more mild, and even why can I not think of what this is? It's like an onion, but it's tiny, but it's not a scallion.
A tiny onion ball?
They're browner. No, radish is nothing like an onion. Damn it! What am I trying to say? A
shallot.
Shallot. Yes, 100%. Shallot
bothers you.
Bothers me less so than an onion. It's like a degree. It's like
shallot
a yellow.
Shouldn't even have
does a little
that
bit
kind of sting.
Here's how it goes for me. It's like the yellow and the white onions first, then red, then shallot, and then scallion. You're in the safe zone, which is why I use them all the fucking time.
I love a good, fresh white onion. They look just amazing.
Yeah.
And they feel amazing. They feel like, I'll be like this. Maybe there's a God. You know? Somebody who come up with something this perfect. I call them the diamonds of nature.
The diamonds are in nature.
Not really. There was a woman the other night that she was yelling. She was like in a doctorate program to be a medical doctor. And I go, what are you going to focus on? And she says, the flu. And I go, rest and juice. What do you... I mean, anybody. I could be a flu doctor right now. But she smokes weed all the time. And she says, because it's natural. I'm like, so are poppies. You know what I mean? Let's not act like, there's fucking poison. Nature can't be the only thing that weed's okay. You can't leave it there. And then she goes, how many people died from alcoholism? And I go, 6.
Just 6 guys.
We're throwing out fucking numbers. I'll give you 6.
But it does seem of all the things to specialize. Maybe even something just like a little more exciting.
Look, if you're outside of brain or the heart, you're probably not very good. If I was a doctor, I'd definitely be some kind of brain surgeon.
I feel like I'd be a lady doctor. Dealing
Taking
with
care of lady bits?
All the lady parts.
I don't want to see any bad lady parts. I want all good ones. I want them to be as fresh as a white onion.
I like that.
Nature's diamond.
Like the idea that a woman would go to a gynecologist, like, I just got some shitty lady parts. I don't know.
Oh.
Just really messed up.
Oh. Hold on. James has a thing from you and you're going to try it.
Okay.
James in New Mexico.
Oh, yeah. Gail.
Yes.
My grandma always chewed on a match when she chopped onions, like a wooden match.
Really?
And what would it do?
Yeah.
Make her cry on a match?
It kept her from bothering her eyes. I don't know.
No.
James, without even knowing the facts of this, you're going into the pretty good prize closet.
Yeah. And I'm going to try it.
Yeah.
No, it's just I'm chewing on the wooden end, right? Not like the actual match
you
head.
never want to chew on the match head. But why don't you do this since you don't chop anymore? Just put your face in your food processor while the onions are spinning around. You're chewing on a match.
I'm
Never be third on a match. Remember that, Vito?
Mm-hmm. You know that, right, Vito?
I didn't know that till now, but I'll remember it.
You know why?
No.
All right, so you're lighting a match, right? Suppose I let myself a smoky butt, right? And then Gail comes over with a ciggy. I lay that on her stick. Then if you say, I want it, no, you don't. Because back in the old wars, when the whole world was fighting each other, they would say by the time you got to the third person, a sniper would be able to focus down on that and shoot. Now, whether that's true or not, I don't know. But I did see clips of Schindler's List yesterday in the Spielberg thing, and it was right before Saving Private Ryan clips. By the way, let's figure this out about Steven Spielberg. He put out Schindler's List and Jurassic Park at the same time. While he's shooting Schindler's List, he was editing Jurassic Park. They came out in the same year. One became a giant fucking movie, changing the way everybody looks to see it, is CGI. The other, the Oscar winner, which, by the way, he took zero money off of.
He did?
He gave all the money to some Jewish thing. I think they went around recording people's Holocaust stories.
Wow, I did not know that.
The two stories that they were most interested in recording were Holocaust stories and early Catskills comedy. Catskills comedy. And some of those guys were fucking unbelievable. So, you want more about this because I just saw a documentary. I'm going to give you fun facts throughout the day.
I need to watch that doc.
Brooks, PA. Brooks.
Hey, got a few more tips for cutting onions.
Good. Okay. We need them.
Yeah, stick the onion in the freezer for a few minutes before you cut it.
Mm-hmm.
Chew on a piece of gum or suck on a lime wedge.
Pretty good prize closet. Thanks for the tip.
Yeah.
Ow! Ray in Georgia.
Hey, my grandmother used to chew on the bristles of a corn broom, not the plastic broom, but like a natural broom.
Gail, do you have a corn broom?
I don't, but I
sort of like chewing on a piece of pine straw, basically, is what you're doing. It worked. It always worked.
A lot of this is chewing based.
Yeah, a lot of it's chewing based. Pretty good prize closet for you as well.
I need a corn broom.
Vito, just pretty good. I don't want you giving away, excellent stuff.
Yes, not the super good prizes.
Yeah,
keep that in Chris's house for his enjoyment. I'd like to know how many times he's going to eBay.
This needs to be like broom level.
Yeah,
like for a broom tip.
Okay, I know where the broom. I know where the broom plateau would be.
That you ground, Chris?
Oh my God!
You getting breakfast today?
That was an earthquake.
Just that green juice I paid for.
You did not pay for that, and that's really annoying to me. That's really obnoxious.
Look, let's slow it down, you two. Let's both. Who's got the receipt?
I don't get a receipt from
Thank
them.
you.
No, that's not fair.
I guess we'll never know
because they don't give receipts.
It was
and I know
me.
that because I bought them.
But why would I? Here's the difference.
Yeah.
If Chris bought 3 green juices, would I ever lie and say that I had bought them? Think of it that way.
Yeah.
But would Chris lie and say that he had?
Well, see, that's me just judging on character, and I'd rather not do that. I'd rather just go by the facts, right?
Yes.
And I feel like if Chris bought the 3 green juices,
which I did,
Chris would have drank the 3 green juices because he shares nothing. No thing.
I'm giving.
Right before we came out during the commercial, Chris was hounding me about a certain guest.
Yes.
Over and over. When did I take you off guest, Chris?
Well, weeks ago.
Well, and then you're going, I can just say no. Why? What was so important in that moment?
Just because I don't want to hound you. That's why. Because I just want to take care of things so you don't have to think about them.
The thing that I don't want to think about is answering these questions with you.
Okay.
And I had you move them along so you don't have to be involved in it. I want you to be involved like in yesterday's meeting when you said nothing and we're not prepared for the big Thanksgiving show.
We will be.
Yes, because somebody else is going to be doing it. That guy right over there.
What?
I'm just going to point outside. Vito, why can't you and Chris work together? I need you guys to be a team.
I I try to talk to Chris about these things, and then
I'm getting texts during the show. That's all. So I thought
you should be taking off the text.
I've told them. I'm gonna reiterate to these booking people.
You know how to forward, right?
Yes.
Forward to Vito. Forward to whoever. Take that off your what? Plate.
Put it on Vito's
plate.
Feed me.
Oh, that's. I'm not gonna feed you. Thanks.
Could you feed him grapes throughout the rest of the show? Just take grapes and put them in the
That's a sign of good faith that you will in the future feed him booking.
Do we have any grapes?
All right, Harvey Weinstein just put out a statement that said all those bitches wanted it. All of them wanted to go to Harvey Town.
That's what he calls it, Harvey Town?
Yeah.
I thought he called it Weinstein World.
I wasn't going to use his last name, Chris, because let's face it, he is innocent until proven guilty. He's not guilty yet. Right now, everybody's calling about onions. I don't know how I got into that.
So that they hurt my eyes. I guess that everyone just doesn't want me to wear my cool onion goggles.
Are they cool?
I think they're pretty cool.
Are they steampunk goggles?
No, they're more sensible than that. I'll have to take a picture for you guys. Sometimes I cook with them and I'm not even cooking onions.
I didn't see this Saudi king in the escalator breaking.
It's so great. So this is him coming off of the private jet, and he has an escalator to bring him from the jet.
I've never seen a jet escalator before.
No.
And midway down, it breaks. And he doesn't know what to do. He's very confused.
He's never seen steps in his life?
I don't know why, but now this guy next to him is starting to explain.
Lift this one leg.
He's kind of explaining it to him, and he seems like he's like...
He seems like he's furious about the thought of stepping. Those fucking Saudi sheikhs are so rich that they're crazy.
And then he just finally figures it out.
I know an ex-cop who does security for those guys. They said one of them, who's just like a nephew, has an allowance from his family of $1 million a month. And for every month, he spends that $1 million and then has to wait for his next million to come in.
What the fuck?
Yeah. And this guy that I know, he sets up everything for him. Like, okay, the restaurant we're going to is here. We're going to go into this way. He makes everything seem like it's a big deal. But let's face it, no one in New York gives a fuck if you got $1 million a month to spend. It's not that kind of city. You know what I mean? No one's going to be hassling you or making a big deal out of you.
That is so weird. It's so weird to think that people have that existence where you're so detached. Like, there's no way for you to relate to the rest of the world. So, like, that's so different. Like, when you say, like, a rich person, oh, that person has money, that's barely different than somebody who's, like, middle class. But that's something that is just, like, beyond understanding.
Yeah, and they're just wasting their money instead of spending it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And, of course, it isn't his money at all. Now, this Donna Karen said that Harvey got in trouble because of the way some of the women are dressed. And then Megyn Kelly said this today: I am done buying Donna Karen. That's over for me. So she's trying to get a big anti-Donna Karen thing going, which always comes back to that of, I disagree with someone, now let's make them poor. Let's make them get fired.
Hurt them.
It's a really weird thing for a person to say, though. It's so strange.
Oh, both things are weird.
It's so bizarre. Why would she say
Well,
it?
she's his friend and I think benefactor. So you know how deep you go in for friends, you know?
Yeah, just seems like just keep it zipped on this issue, even if you have a personal connection to that person.
Well, see, here's the thing. A lot of young people who go into the entertainment business want to have the sex. They do. But not all of them. And you would think to yourself, why don't I just hang out with the girls that want to have the sex? Why am I, being with the girls who don't want to have the sex?
Yes, because that's a specific aspect
right.
of people who prefer to have sexual arousal this way. It's like that's what their preference is. It's the same thing as anyone who you're like, is a football player, like a rap star, whatever. Like whatever the person is, they're going. Well, yeah, but they could go to the club and they could get any girl. It's not really about it.
What do you mean when you say the club?
When they're in the club and everyone's partying.
Yeah. Chris can only be aroused with ladies from a third world country. He can't be.
Really?
I put together 50 dates for him.
Yeah.
I wanted him to date a girl. Oh my God, you're just growling over there.
That's weird.
I have some breakfast.
Do you want a snack? I have some pumpkin seeds.
Yeah, pumpkin seeds will settle your belly. That'll stop that fucking trumpet from going off in your lower intestines. How long since you dated?
I've been on dates every now and then, but I haven't dated somebody seriously for about a year and 8 months, I guess.
When's the last time you were on a date?
2 months ago.
Now, how come you don't tell us about this? Chris was always telling us about his dates, and it was fun for the show.
My dates aren't really interesting. I go on one date, and then I don't like the person, and then I don't see them again.
Do you feel like your standards are too high?
Yeah, but not in like a. It's not like a shallow way or anything. It's in like this person just does not interest me.
But here's the thing. Isn't it kind of sometimes better to hang out with somebody that you're not interested in, waiting for that interesting person to come along?
I had a lot of fun.
I guess I need to open up more, but I don't know. I get really bored on dates. Like
You miss your old girlfriend still.
I do miss my old girlfriend still.
You know what she's up to now?
No, I once somebody leaves my life, I don't care anymore about what they do with themselves.
But you miss her, so you do care.
Well, yeah, I miss her, but I don't care what she's up to. Like she can do whatever I wish her the best in her future endeavors.
Why?
Endeavors.
First of all, you're not a corporation. You're a human.
Endeavors.
Do we need to break for our guests?
Yes, we do.
Okay. Is that up for me to decide, or is our guest here?
I was going to let you know in 30 seconds, a minute.
That's a lie. So do I break first?
Yeah, we break first.
All right. We're going to be back with Richard Lewis. He's going to be at Caroline's this Friday and Saturday. And Curb Your Enthusiasm is every Sunday night, 10 p.m. on HBO. Right back, Bennington. Yeah. But it's all about your Apple phone right now that you're struggling.
That's why, and it's not narcissism. It's self-centeredness, and I blame the family for not caring about my phone, even my toy phone when it broke. You take calls.
No, we can, but we don't need to. We don't need to. I don't want.
Unless it's the Apple store.
Yeah.
That's the only question I'm going to ask. I'm not going to. Isn't that by the Trump place?
No. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It is close.
God.
Yes.
Oh God! Hi, Katie. How are you? How's the book? I like her. She's a friend. All right. So what? I got to put this on.
No, you don't need it. You can just put this down. Richard,
are we on the air?
Yes, we've been on the air.
All that crap was on the air.
It's great though.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Anyone can call in with that. I have a phone.
Yeah.
I don't care about taking. So they just named the Friars Club, the historic Friars Club. The men's room is now Richard Lewis is John.
Yes.
And then they surprised me with my picture between the urinals, which I don't know how I feel about that. I'm not homophobic or anything, but guys who are whizzing will be staring at me.
No,
There's nothing facing the toilets, thank God.
Now, was this anything?
Can I get back to the Apple just
for a second?
Then we'll
Yes.
Larry David and the thing and 50. I'm old, but I'm Carol. All of it. Anything you want. I'm fearless. I did Carnegie Hall 31 years ago. I don't care anymore.
What is wrong with the phone, though? What happened?
All right, so I wanted to take a picture of the urinal.
Yes.
Okay, and the camera just took a picture of my face looking in the front of the camera.
Yeah.
So I asked 18 photographers. They said, "Oh, there's a little icon.
Yes.
You press the icon and it'll just flip
Turn
it
around, yes.
And all I see is black when I turn it around.
Well, do you have something on the back of your phone?
Well, just the whatever you call it that takes the picture. This.
No, the lens clear.
The lens.
The lens is clear.
But it's like, if I'm taking a picture of you, I see
Right.
me.
Yes. So it should look like.
I know how it should look like. I know what like a turkey looks like.
No, mine isn't working.
Well, tell me what I think it should look like.
You know why? Because I had the thing on the back.
What thing on the back?
This is like my.
Do you have a case on it? Is
Do you
the
have a case? No.
blocking the
Okay.
lens? Okay.
So there's the icon right there in the corner, and you hit it, and it should turn everything around,
Yeah,
right?
well, it turned it around, but it was all black. So you think they just screwed me to get a new phone, right?
Maybe. I don't know. If
I'm not
anybody
getting-
knows about this, 844-ROCK-GOD, 844-ROCK-GOD, help Richard Lewis out.
Yes,
This
it
is-
takes it. I look at you.
Yes.
And it shows me.
Right.
I press the little icon.
Yeah.
Thinking it would flip it around.
Yes.
And it flips it around, but then it's just all black, the screen.
Could you just turn around when you're taking pictures so it's just...
I'm not a circus actor. Once I saw those guys on Sullivan when I was a kid, those from Panama, 8 guys who wanted to be architects and solve and invent vaccines, and their father said, "You're going to spin plates."
Yes.
So all you're going to do is spin plates until you die. I never wanted to. What did I just say?
Well, we're getting deep into the old...
Forget the phone. It's my problem.
Yes.
The world's coming to an end, but Curb is back, but I hope we get to the last episode before we bomb Korea.
Do you think that will actually happen? Because last night seems like we were closer than ever. Like we're like figuring stuff out on how to bomb Korea.
I was on tour the last 2 nights, and I've been traveling, so I'm catching up.
Yeah.
But this whole look, it's just childish. It's like a high school guy in junior high school all of a sudden is trying to assert his childishness on the rest of the world. I mean, we're the greatest country and the looniest country. For us to be a great country, we have to have dissension and all this stuff. We know all this stuff. I'm blah, blah, blah. But this guy, you know what it is? I was telling Ari Melba, who I like very much, and I said, and I don't think I made my point, but I said, the 37, I'm so sick of this bass crap. His base.
Yeah.
He can do anything he wants, his base. I guarantee you 37% of those people are not in favor of some of the, they're not in favor of him cozying up to white supremacists and neo-Nazis. I mean, there's no way. They just bought into, some of them, sadly, he was a celebrity or, a lot of people have problems and they need more money and it wasn't happening fast enough. I get that.
Yeah.
Why not make a change? But they're not for all this crap and all this insensitivity, and it's scary stuff.
Well, it's every day. You can't keep up. There's so much stuff that happens that there's a new thing that we're supposed to be outraged about, something he said or done. It's been exhausting.
It's a blur. It's like I've been a recovered drug addict for 23 years, and I remember reading before David Bowie, who was a great guy and very nice to me. I remember just before I bottomed out, I read, he says, I know I was an important figure for 20 years, but I have no recollection how I did it.
Yeah.
Of course, that meant nothing to me when I read it at the time, but I should have. But it's a blur now with this, what he does every day, almost every 10 minutes. They keep handing the anchors new. This just came in. we just. Oh God. Well, look. I don't know. You want to. It bugs me. I just got off the plane, so there's these fat cats. Most of the senators and representatives have a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
and they love power and all of that stuff, but they just want to stay in office for that. And there's 700 of them, senators, and they're forgetting about 350 million people. The whole thing is crazy to me.
But I think it gets seductive, just like in Hollywood. There's people there that don't necessarily like movies, but they stay in the movie business for the party and the power and the excitement.
Of course.
So it's that same kind of thing. Like, it's always surprising to me that you get to any business and a lot of people they don't care that much about the product
at all
of the business. Yeah.
Well, not everybody wants to be Cassavetes or Truffaut or Kurosawa, or, of course, when I mentioned some of those references on stage now, I used to do a joke like 30, 40 years ago, and, when I was playing colleges, and I was like 28, 29, and I'm looking at 17-year-olds, and I would say, Eisenhower, I mean Madonna, because they had no idea who Eisenhower. So, I don't even know why that came up, but they power is seductive, and it's, and look, I ran through similarly what a lot of people do. I struggled my ass off. I was broke, but I was passionate about stand-up comedy.
Sure.
I felt like $1 million when I used to drive into the Improv on 44th Street and catch a rising star, and I lived in a dump. But I was friends with all these celebrities and comics, and they gave me, they gave me, hope, and I didn't care how much money. I had all these part-time jobs, and then all of a sudden, boom, a series, Carnegie Hall, lots of bread, and and then you get enabled, and then the drugs and the thing, and you're buying too much, and boom, luckily I didn't go down,
But you were happy at Catch just being part of
just
that
going
energy,
on stage and hanging out with the guys in my area, my time frame, or the big celebs who would hang out and sit in the corner. Hey, good shot, Carson would hang out in the back, and all these guys, and then Gilbert. Well, I came in '71 with Crystal and Leno. That was our year, and others, of course, Lane Boozler and Freddie Prinze, and it's been a long ride, and I tell a lot of young, artists, I guess I'm 70 now, and I guess when you get a certain age, you almost have a need to spit everything out before it's over, but I really mean this if I can say artists, I say, listen, particularly when I talk to comedians, there's so many now, and there's so many platforms, it's almost harder now. When I was starting, it's either you made the Tonight Show and you had a career, or you didn't, and you're in trouble, and I was lucky. And then Letterman, and done a series with Jamie Lee Curtis, and then Larry David. I've been a fortunate guy.
Yeah.
But I say, they're so anxious to get ahead so fast without even concentrating on their craft. Not everybody, but so many of them go, hey, guess who's coming down to see me? I go, well, that's great. When? Tomorrow. And they might have had maybe 3 months, you know? And it's, and then, David Brenner, who passed away, was a really big star for a long time from Philadelphia. And he once told me when I was about 23, I was at the Improv, he says, take everything seriously. He said, you do one Tonight Show for 6 minutes. That's like doing the Improv 3 times a night, 7 days a week for 50 years. That's how many people are going to watch you. So you better not walk through anything.
Yeah.
Radio, anything, you never know who's listening. And plus, you just look sloppy, I prepared 3 months for this 25 minutes. I didn't think I was going to come in with the apple crap. But I think it's like when cars, they build, what's that word? I have a degree in marketing. They build cars to break down. They build, there's that word that I should know now, but I'm 70 and I got to pass. But, they'll say, first we'll make the camera go halfway.
Yes.
Yeah, what I mean? So,
but Brenner just even showing up at Catch kind of made that club, right?
He didn't get along that great with the owner, Bud Freeman at the Improv. So Rick Newman is a good buddy of mine. Bud Freeman has a new book out now. It's pretty provocative about.
I saw that. I read it.
And but Brenner was a big star, and he when he played Catch all the time, that caught on, and they were both great clubs. They're really legendary places.
Yeah, that was like you said, there wasn't that many comedians, so you could go to Catch and end up seeing people that were going to have these giant careers within 2, 3. Prince, and it just went on and on and on in the list of people that hung out there. But was that competitive, or was it?
Yeah, not in the beginning. We'd after 2 a.m. we'd finish. The goal was this back then. You had to get on the Tonight Show. That was it. And Merv Griffith, of course, and I was after David Frost had a show. But you had to have like 2 or 3 monologues that were clean, that the producers saw, and they knew that you could come back for the next 4 or 5 months. Every 7 or 8 weeks. So that's all you worked on. That's all you did. And it wasn't that competitive because we all wanted everybody to succeed. I'm sure there was some rotten apples, but we'd say, that joke, why don't you try this? And we'd try, because we were all in it together. We felt like, I know Bob Klein once told me a word back when I was a kid. He said, I feel like a gypsy. It was like young artists in Paris, hanging out, was not without sounding grandiose, without selling a painting, but just feeling like we're artists and we're doing what we want to do. I mean, once you commit to being an artist, there's no guarantee. Everyone should know that. There's so many friends of ours who are in this business who are geniuses, who are struggling to pay their bills, and there's a lot of luck involved. I just saw the Sidney Lumet documentary. I don't know if you saw it. It was pretty interesting. And Lumet, his resume is it's crazy.
Yeah.
And he says, I work with thousands of actors, and the one word that kept popping up was luck. And of course, he knows that you need your craft for him, God knows. But if you don't get any luck, you're screwed. And I had luck, I had mentors. I had Carson, I had Letterman, and I got a great series for 4 or 5 years. And then Larry David, to consider that Larry David came over my house 17 years ago, without considering the 5-year hiatus. It's 17 years ago, Curb premiere.
That's hard to believe, isn't it? It's so strange.
Like, there's a doctor now who's 25. He was 3. I keep seeing my internist sucking his mother's nipples.
17 years of Curb, it still feels like, and that's his second, major show. You know what I mean? He had all that run.
He's the Norman Lear of this generation. He's a genius. He's one of the great storytellers, and he's a terrific performer too. He'll never admit to any of this stuff, but I know him since we were born in Brooklyn Jewish Hospital 3 days apart. He slapped me around a little bit because I was a premature baby and he was mocking me. We met each other. I'll do it in 10 seconds. It's some sports camp, and we despised each other. He was a despicable human being. And then I never saw him again until we became best friends at the Improv. And then one day I was probably drinking too much, and I looked at him, and he scared me, and he got all spooked out. He wasn't a drinker or did drugs much at all, probably. And then we retraced our childhood, and I said, I went to this camp when I was 12, and he said, so did I. I went to a sport. I said, me too. He went, wait, you're him? You're that jerk? And it was a 1,000,000,000 to 1 shot. We were inseparable best friends at that point at 24. And just to think that we hated one another at 12 and then we became best friends and didn't realize we were the same kids as adolescents.
That's a movie right there. That's a movie.
Well, I think that's why, if I may say, our connection is a little different than other connections on the show because we're playing ourselves. I asked Larry, they ask him, they asked me and everybody else, is he the same kind of guy off stage? He's eccentric as hell. There's a million stories that I don't have time to say, but he is eccentric. But he wishes he was more like the Larry David that's on Curb. That could just say, I'm out of this party. I heard one story once when he was married at the time. They used his house, Clinton used his house for a fundraiser. And he was upstairs in his library. And I wasn't there. I worked for Clinton Gore for 8 or 9 years. But I wasn't at this fundraiser. And he was upstairs reading or working. And it was over, the charity was over, and Clinton was leaving the Secret Service, and I'm not sure if it was his ex-wife who says, President Clinton would like to, thank you, and then Larry went, I don't have a need to go there. He's just that way. I have a letter from Springsteen to me. He was a big Curb fan. He wrote this about 10 years ago, and it was we have a history. And first it's in my drunken days and then my sober days, and he's been really kind to me. And I showed Larry the letter, and he got halfway through. He went, I don't think I need to finish it.
That's enough.
And I just don't understand it. I mean, it's something very nice about it. I'm just very needy. I just need to get that approval. I'm not sure how much approval he even needs.
Yeah.
God bless him.
Well, I've always heard that about his stand-up, that he could He could take it or leave it when he walked on stage.
Well, I'm not. That's one way of putting it. The other way was just absurd craziness when he wanted undivided attention at a nightclub at midnight. If he was doing a routine and someone said, whispered to the waitress, "We'll have another scotch." "Oh, I'm out of here," and he'd storm off.
Yeah.
So luckily, Seinfeld was starting to get some heat, and Larry was a great stand-up, but he sort of pulled a Woody Allen. He used his premises and his routines through other people. You can hear Woody's voice a lot, and you can hear Larry's. I don't necessarily hear his voice from mine, but the premises are his.
Yes.
The exposition is his. Like on the first episode, he killed, my parakeet died, and that's all I knew. He says, your parakeet died. And then the rest was all ad lib. And he was like insensitive, and I went crazy, and
that's close enough to your actual
that would be exactly what would happen. When I come home, my wife says, "How did it go?" And I get, it almost caused a divorce after 17 years. 20 years I've known my wife. We got married about 10 years ago. And I said, she says, "How did it go?" She said, "Don't ask me ever again. It was like last night at dinner." What's the difference? What is the difference? We're the same. I'm playing me. He's playing him. I said, "How am I on the show?" He says, "You're worse on the show." I said, "Thank you." Called me. I'm worse. I'm a worse Richard Lewis than I am in real life. But I'm in New York now. Yeah. I was born in Brooklyn. I'm here I'm going to be hanging out and going to museums. I play Caroline's Friday and Saturday early show. I started that club on 7th Avenue with Kaufman and Jay. And Caroline is an old buddy, and when I come to New York, I like to do a couple of sets.
What was Andy Kaufman like before pre-fame on stage?
It's an impossible answer for me to understand. I just, if I was a fly on the wall at a therapy session, I might have given up my career just for that 1 hour. No, I'm teasing, of course. He was. I really don't understand his being. I don't. I actually consider Andy a performance artist. He's certainly not a traditional stand-up. Like Lenny and Pryor and Dick Gregory and Nichols and May and Berman. And it's a different form. It's performance art to me. And he broke, many molds, and you couldn't follow him. And one of the reasons is he took the audience outside on the street with him. So I would see Andy on, I would drive, and I was living in Jersey. I'd drive, and I see Andy on, I turn around and go back past Strasbourg. Well, that was going the other way, but, go back to Jersey. I said, I can't go on because there'll be no audience left. He would have them follow him like a Pied Piper down 44th Street.
Now, Pryor in those days, he wasn't the superstar when you started, but he was already known, right?
Well, no, he was pretty big. I remember Bud Freeman taking about 6 of us to see him at, not Town Hall, Lincoln Center. He was pretty huge in 70, 71. Robert Klein and Carlin and Pryor was... Well, they were the kings back at that time. They were just, you can't get funnier than those guys. They're remarkable, and everyone has different feelings about different comics, and there's great comics now, so it's pointless, but the fact, it's like, I'm a big Buster Keaton fan, and of course Chaplin and others, but I was so in love with Keaton, it was almost became like Beatles, Stones with me,
Sure.
Keaton, Buster, and I wound up knowing his widow, and I know a lot about Keaton, and but these guys. My point, I think I'm trying to make, is that Dick Gregory, and he was an activist. He was playing mainly white audiences and making them laugh about what the blacks were going through back in the early mid '60s, and it was amazing courage, and he was a genius to be able to do that. And Lenny Lenny fought the First Amendment. Yeah, he was a drug addict, but it killed him. The First Amendment killed him. It took away his livelihood. Pryor, to me, probably, with all the great comics we have today, had more in his arsenal. He was truthful. He could improv. He was beyond hilariously funny. and he just lit up the stage. I think, with all things considered, will probably be and Chappelle now in the last 15 years or so. I consider him a genius, Dave Chappelle. I think no one has touched him in the last 15 years, and before that, prior. Not that you asked.
No, but I go back to you bringing up Keaton, and I always hear you talking about film, and I always think to myself, you've got a book in you somewhere, because it's almost people don't talk about film the way you do anymore. You still have that 70s eye at film when everybody was so in love.
Well, a lot of people, let's face it, when I'm I did a show 2 nights ago with Artie Lang in Florida. We rocked some casino in Florida. But, if I start talking about, Pelham 1, 2, 3 on stage, I'll go right into the toilet. They just don't, they're too young, the audiences. They might, I don't know if I'm a film buff. When I was in college, I went to Ohio State, or the Ohio State. I don't know why that the is so important. But I went to see every foreign film. I remember being staggered at 400 Blows. And when I saw Cassavetes, when I saw Faces, I couldn't move. And there's a movie that I always mention, I love Truffaut, The New Wave, and there's a movie, The Mother and the Whore, which is hard to find, which is one of the most astonishing movies I have ever seen in my entire life. So, and I watch all the documentaries of films from other countries, which is interesting. There's a lot of them out there, like they show the greatest film directors from foreign countries. That, it's not just, with all due respect, it's not just Kubrick, it's not just, it's people that you've never heard of, and then you see how they shot, and you go, oh my God, why don't I know more about Indian, filmmaking? And so, but whether I don't need to write a book about it, but what I basically watch are films, particularly foreign films, about before I moved out of the place in Hollywood about a year ago to another place with my wife. My house was an homage to the arts. It was built in 27. And it was 3 stories, and every inch was covered with show business paraphernalia, and not paraphernalia, with photographs and artwork, and it was. But now I gave a lot to auction and to rehab places and stuff, which is fine. I mean, I live with it, and it was, God, I lost the thread.
But you love that whole era of when your house was built in the 20s. Those things are so gorgeous.
It doesn't matter. It probably wasn't that important because the Apple thing got in my way.
Sure it did. Sure it did. All right, David in Clearwater says he's got a solution. You want to be open to this?
Yes.
Let's make it loud enough so he doesn't have to put the headphones on, Chris.
Okay.
So the main thing is you can't turn your...
I have my phone on, and I see the thing that says camera.
Okay.
And I press camera and photo. I don't even see you on this at this point.
Yeah. All you got to do is turn around. Turn around, shoot me over your shoulder. All right, David in Clearwater, you had the same problem, right?
Yeah. Is your flashlight working?
Is the flashlight working?
How long will it take you to get here? Well, you got to press settings for that?
Now, swipe up from the bottom, and there'll be a little icon for the flashlight there.
Really?
All right, so...
Yeah, I see. Yeah. Flashlight.
Is that working?
No.
It's not working.
Yeah, it's the thing called the touch disease. I've had 3
I have touch disease? That's not like is that like a yeast infection?
It's a little bit. Well, after a while, it gets pretty bad.
So you mean they're going to make me buy a new phone now? Is that the deal?
How long have you had it?
What?
How long have you had it?
It's a 5. 5
years. Yeah. There was a lawsuit going on. Apple knew that there was a problem. It's something like with the soldering in the hard.
You lost me with touch disease. I gotta
but he's got to go back to the store with it, you're saying.
Can they fix it at the store, or they say just get a new one? Did they do that?
Just get a new one.
Yeah, get a new one.
Oh, no.
Get a new one.
Touch disease.
It'll be, it's a terrible disease that afflicts so many phones these days.
Oh, I appreciate your call. Have a great dinner.
All right, Richard, we got to wrap this up with you, but you're
thanks,
fantastic, man. It's great to see you. Go to Caroline's. There's nobody on stage like Richard Lewis.
Whatever. I'll see you Friday and Saturday, this early show. Thanks a lot. It's been a pleasure being with you.
Same here. This is Bennington.
I got to go.
Bennington Show. That was Richard Lewis, truly one of the great comedians of all time. Unfortunately, a little more obsessed with his phone than ever. He also told me to do this because we're talking about Keaton after. Go to YouTube and just do Buster Keaton, Richard Lewis. I don't have time now. I'm going to do it when I get home tonight. But I love hearing him talk film.
Yeah,
I always have.
I can't wait to watch that because I'm a Keaton fan as well.
Well, I'm a fan of people who can turn you on to movies that you've never heard about or made you look at them in a different way. And Richard Lewis and Harvey Weinstein are the two. Well, I hate to throw them together though with everything that's going down. Apparently, another little news alert just went off.
So Gwyneth Paltrow.
Gwyneth
Paltrow has come forward saying that she was sexually harassed by Harvey when she was 22 when he hired her for the Jane Austen film Emma. He asked her to his suite in the Beverly Hills Hotel, and then Weinstein placed his hands on her and suggested they head to the bedroom for massages. And she says,
he always is about massage, this guy.
Then she said she refused his advances and confided in Brad Pitt, her boyfriend at the time, and Mr. Pitt confronted Mr. Weinstein. And soon after, the producer warned her not to tell anyone else about his come-on. And she said, I thought he was going to fire me.
Now, she worked with him long after that, too.
Yeah.
Because that's how she got her Oscar, was Shakespeare. Anybody else or just her?
Rosanna Arquette has also come out.
Ooh.
Wow.
And so has Angelina Jolie, who said during the release of Playing by Heart in the late 90s, he made unwanted advances on her in a hotel room, which she rejected.
Again, Brad Pitt's person.
I know.
Now, some of those, is that inappropriate to make an advance, any advance?
Yes. If you are working with somebody, you're in a position of power where you can hire them, fire them. Yes, it is inappropriate to make a sexual advance at that person because then that person starts to sit there and question, if I say no to this, what happens?
Even a romantic advance. There's no time that because this is true in the military and has been for years that like captains can't date the subordinates. So if a person is a VP here, couldn't ask you out to a fine dinner and Burgundy.
I think that most places have rules in place for circumstances in which, and now some people, go against those rules because they go, oh, no, this is a consensual thing and I want to date this person. And they usually keep it quiet in the workplace because for the most part, yeah, it's usually set in place that you should not be asking people out at work.
Could Vito ask out Jen since they're kind of same level?
I'm pretty sure it still would be frowned upon in most companies. I don't know what
Could I ask the VP out? Could I say, Don, let's stop playing this game?
For years.
Yes. Now, in the world of comedy, every waitress has been hit on.
Yeah. Yeah, certainly corporations tend to make rules for that to protect themselves.
Right. But clubs don't.
Yeah, most
clubs
small businesses
What
don't
about
have...
if Paul were to ask out Vito? Paul or the baller?
Yeah, I think that Paul is in a position of power right now.
What about Disco Dan, the gossip man? Who could ask you? Is there anyone here that Chris could ask out?
I don't think there's anyone Chris is allowed to make a sexual advance or romantic advance towards.
Now, even with the fact that he's saying, why don't we go in the other room for a massage?
Mm-hmm.
We all have to certainly see that differently than jerking off into the potted plant.
Yeah. I mean, clearly it sounds like everything right now the allegations go from an inappropriate advance to, masturbating in front of someone to, it sounds like there are some possible rape allegations as well.
And I haven't heard those. I've heard I'll have to see. I know I believe it was 2 interviews with Harvey, right?
Yes,
Chris?
2.
And he asked me, and see if this was inappropriate, he asked me to shit into a garden hose while he sucked on the other end. So
did you feel like you couldn't say no?
I did it because I didn't want to embarrass him.
Yes.
That's why I did it. I did it because I was worried about his feelings. Let's go to Sean, North Carolina.
Hey, Ronnie B.
Hey, what's up?
He asked you to run a Detroit stipend. Huh, interesting. We hear all these women that have turned Weinstein down, but how many women do you think are out there that haven't come forward who actually went through it?
6. No, I think that there's probably, this is a lifetime of being a Hollywood star. It's, it was like if you worked for Playboy in the 1970s or something,
Yes, I think when you start to look at numbers, there's always going to be people who don't want to come forward for whatever reason. They're going to think, well, maybe mine wasn't as bad, or maybe they're like, maybe I did seem like I was flirtatious, but I certainly didn't want this thing forced on. There's a lot of reasons that women don't come forward.
I forgot this is my favorite thing I read. Chris, I think it's on the Tablet. It's a Jewish site. So put like the Tablet, Harvey Weinstein, because I don't want to get the title incorrect to this thing. So just, if you will, Chris, that looks like it. Read the title of the article.
The specifically Jewy perviness of Harvey Weinstein.
So they are comparing him with Philip Roth. And I sent it to every Jew friend that I have, and they're like, "This is racist." I go, "Yes, but the Jews are saying it."
Yes, this is the Jewish
so we can
writing.
all laugh. But read the title again.
The specifically Jewy perviness of Harvey Weinstein.
So there,
there's a sub-character, the subtitle too. The disgraced film producer is a character straight out of Philip Roth, playing out his revenge fantasies on the Goyim.
Now, here's the real shocker of this. That anyone who lives in America is shocked that an American movie producer acted in such a way. This has been well known since the beginning of time. It also is going to be true of many other businesses. But there is this power thing. There's no doubt about it. It's a power thing. You know what always shocks me? The small number of rock stars that ever have been accused of something like this.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it weird? Like those guys are with different women every night.
Yeah, but that's almost that thing of like there's something that happens, I think, in a work environment.
Right.
That is like the women are around and you have access to them. Like a band is just going to like tour and then they're going to be like ladies who would like to come backstage. Like that tends to be the rock star story. But
still a lot of inappropriate shit, I'm sure, happens on the road and the lack of it. But yes, there's Hollywood power, but there's also a lot of power when you're the number one real estate guy in Southeast Iowa. You know what I mean? There's a certain amount of power when you're the plumbing king of Pinellas County or own 4 used car lots in Illinois. There's that thing, and we've followed into it for years. And I'm not saying free Harvey or Bill O'Reilly or Roger Ailes or whoever has been, but I think it's a fairly common thing that has happened. And the responsibility is always with the individuals, but there's a weird society thing as well. I'm going to take an Altoid right now because We're getting new interns today, and I want to see my new interns. Send Jen in, would you please? I want to see what Jen's thing has been like. First of all, Jen, I'm just going to say, did you enjoy meeting the legendary Richard Lewis?
Yeah.
He's an absolute legend. And when that story that he tells about him and Larry David even said something a while ago, going, one time Lewis asked me to give him $1 million. And Lewis is saying, I said, loan me $1 million. And look how much you have. You have plenty. I figured if I get the $1 million, I'll be back on my feet and I'm solving it. And I'm going to pay you back monthly installments. Who's the creepiest person in the Bennington show?
Probably Chris.
Okay, thank you.
I don't see why.
You talk about bathroom stuff all the time.
Vito was all bathroom yesterday.
That was on air. Yours is on air and off air.
Both.
On air, we could always throw as a, hey, that's entertainment. Not off air.
I would say what also doesn't help him is any reference to a woman or something sexual.
Yeah.
And everyone else is trying to have a conversation about it, and he's going, It's a little weird.
Didn't think you guys heard that. Here's something
That's
else.
gotta be probably.
Afterwards, after the show, we all go back to the locker room. We take a shower.
True.
And and Chris will walk around he has a very short robe, and he leaves it open. And then yesterday, he's going like this. Did anybody order a helicopter? And I go, Chris, I don't want to call anybody, but I will.
I thought that would have been fun for the locker room.
Did anybody order?
Mike, what's up?
Hey guys.
Hey.
Just one of those things where forever and ever and ever there's always been this assumption about people in power in Hollywood who's called the casting couch. And it wasn't even about, gay, straight, anything. It was somebody in power, like the way you looked, you wanted a part, you were doing something.
That is true, and you're right. Many of the young movie stars have been with, sometimes they call it the gay mafia. I don't know all the names. I don't think it's an actual mafia, but they say that. But it's true of both young men and young women.
Yeah.
And the young men are never coming forward with this.
No.
Yeah, they'll stay quiet. But I will say that's one of those things where, okay, so that could be something that in some circumstances is a consensual thing,
Not
but
necessarily.
then you're putting everyone in a position where it makes it difficult to say no, right? Like when it's not like somebody goes, okay, great, and we're interested in working with you, and how will you feel about a casting couch kind of situation? Good, bad, okay, great. It's like you're going to be it's going to be sprung on you, and you're going to be like, oh fuck, am I supposed to do this? Is this what everyone does?
Let's go to Mike. Mike in Jersey. What's up, buddy?
How are you, Ronnie? Big fan, man.
Thank you, buddy.
And my first time calling. So listen, I'm saying that you got Weinstein, who is not the easiest on the eyes, okay? And then you compared it to like rock stars. Even a mildly talented rock star, almost every woman out there that's into music and is young is going to be like, oh, I love him and want to sleep with him. This man is forcing himself on women. Have you guys heard that 1 minute, 45-second clip of him berating a girl at a hotel?
No, I didn't hear it, but I know that he berated everybody. Like that was part of his thing. Was to yell at people.
Hear it.
Yeah, and this is the reporter, right? That he laced out on said that I'm the sheriff of this fucking town. I've heard about that for a while, but I've known people who worked for Harvey, and if something went wrong, he was just screaming. I mean,
really,
and also movie stars. He go back and read the books, and he would be yelling to fucking movie stars, "You suck! You're done in this fucking business. I'm taking the film from you and I'm cutting it up." People that we all admire because they used to call him Harvey Scissorhands because he would go in and edit the shit out of things. But there was Billy Bob Thornton and him would have these terrible when they would just fucking say awful things. And this is after Billy Bob won the Oscar.
Wow.
This is when Billy Bob directed his last movie, I think, was All the Pretty Horses, which Billy Bob wanted it to be 9 hours. And Harvey said, no, it's got to be 8.5. And they started to go at it. Now, I don't know what the details were, but I'm going to go and see Richard Lewis, Buster Keaton on YouTube when I'm out of here. And also, this documentary is supposed to be, and I've heard from some friends, that just unbelievable. You will see a side of Gilbert Gottfried that you never saw before. His relationship with his sister, and she was sick with cancer throughout this. And this film is called what, Chris?
Gilbert, a Gilbert Gottfried story. It opens in select theaters November 3rd.
I've been hearing from people that this will be an Oscar nomination, and other people say, forget nomination. They said, Oscar, get in an Uber and go straight to Gilbert's house. And take a little something for him, too, like a piece of cake or something sweet after dinner.
It's Unmasked with Gilbert Gottfried and director Neil Berkeley. It's happening Wednesday, November 1st at 6 p.m. at the Village Underground in New York City. You go to the ibang.com for a chance at free tickets.
And I just want to say, Vito, Jen, Gail, Chris, congratulations. Today you're with a true comedy legend. 1971. He was over at the Improv. 1971. And this is the 90s. Right? This is when he said that Curb is 17 years ago,
Yeah, that
I
didn't-
felt like I was sick.
Yeah,
like
that
I had
didn't
been in a
make
coma.
sense to me.
Yeah.
If that feels like not that long ago.
That feels like the new show. I still think of it as Larry David's new show.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's it. Go see him if you get the opportunity at Caroline's. His people don't like to be called legends. I let people call me a legend. I have no problem with it. I go, the legend is here. I'm over here now. That's it for us. We'll see you all again in 1973.
Ladies and gentlemen, the evening is over. We hope you all enjoyed yourselves, and we'll see you all again in 1974. Good evening!